combat action is life-threatening. Not everybody lives to fight another day. We've seen countless brothers in arms fall. There are quite many that could have been saved with the timely intervention of a medic. It is in moments like these we can all appreciate the value of human life and the people that risk theirs to save others. There comes a time when combat medics see enough killing that they abandon their weapons and brave the front lines unarmed, looking not to take, but to save lives, sometimes including those of the enemy. Now there's a force behind these individuals. Dedicated medics from both sides organized under the banner of Red Cross. Red Cross is a non-exclusive humanitarian organization that has full-time members not assigned to major combat units, as well as those that join for a period of training and sharing of expertise. Some combat units officially cooperate with Red Cross to shape up their combat medics. At the heart of the Red Cross is the Treaty of Sunhaven, signed by those refusing to harm medical personnel not carrying a weapon, because you never know when you may need a medic. We always welcome those that seek to further the humanitarian goal, be it by patching their fellow soldiers up, training others, or training under full-time medics, or just to show their solidarity by signing the Treaty of Sunhaven. Join us in our Discord server if you would like to become more informed about the topics of this broadcast.
Hello and welcome everybody to our second official Red Cross Foxhole Game Organization livestream. I am joined today by the leader of the Foxhole Red Cross organization, Franz.
Hello.
And my faithful co-host, Eddie's Kingdom.
Hello there.
We have many interesting guests prepared for you today, and on the topic of today's agenda is mostly the future of Foxhole and various mechanics that you would like to see added. The first question I would like to ask is to our listeners, if you could provide us some feedback if the audio is running correctly and you can hear everything and nothing's too loud. If you could tell us in the chat, that would be great.
Yep. And until then, we can bring up the first guest, who is a Sniper. Hello, Sniper.
Hello.
So why don't you introduce yourself first of all and your clan?
I'm Sniper. Hi. I'm the clan leader of the 157 Dragoons, fighting for the Colonials.
Uh-huh.
You want me to say what we do?
Yes. Yes, please.
We currently focus on combined arms. We don't focus on a particular specific combat scenario.
Mm-hmm.
We bounce around all over the place. We're not really set in one area of the map. And we've been new since January. So still gaining some members, I guess.
Yeah, and how many members do you have right now?
I believe around 60, last time I checked.
Oh, well, that's still very impressive in my opinion.
I'm sorry, how many?
I believe 60. 60 active members.
Is
16.
it like 16? Okay, because we currently have around that count. Yeah, we have something like 80. So it will be quite surprising if you will have that much.
Yes, so as is today's topic, I would like to ask you if there's something like, obviously there are some things that have been removed from the game, be it temporarily or decisively, like the various vehicles and things like that. And I would like to ask you if you think that there is something that's currently missing from the game. If you see like a space for improvement in a particular area?
I mean, I haven't really kept up with all the development besides like maybe the new weapons and such. Um, I don't know. I really don't know actually, to be honest.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's okay.
yeah, that's completely okay. Anyway, you said you are a new clan, right?
Yes,
Hmm. And for how long were you playing Foxhole before you established your clan?
about 3 years.
Oh,
I came in around 2018.
okay. Well, that's a long time. Anyway, is there anything what surprised you when you became the leader, or what were the expectations of being a leader, and what is the reality? Are there any? Have you recognized any like unexpected, um, unexpected?
Unexpected outcomes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Uh,
that's the word.
uh, uh, when I first decided to become a clan leader, I did with a couple friends. I never really thought of recruiting until January. Uh, when I first started recruiting, it was very tedious. I actually had to keep up with recruiting like for a little good while before I started actually getting people. Um, and it took a little while to get everything to made like a rank structure and such, which we're still doing. Uh, Still work in progress.
Did you
I
start
think
the your clan entirely from scratch by yourself?
I did, but with a friend. But he's been inactive, so I've been taking the reins entirely for the clan. I started trying to mimic with other clans like my old clan I used to be in, which is the 31st Battalion. They're no longer active and deployed. Um, I took some of their like titles and stuff, like the little icons that you use in your little name and such. But I usually took creative liberty with how I made my ring structure and such.
Oh, so would you say that you have a flexible rank structure then?
I believe I do have a flexible ring structure. Uh, I don't really have many ranks as of right now, but I did try and make everything flexible, not really preferred on a set thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, since you've been playing for about 3 years, is there anything that is there anything that you see currently in the game that you feel needs to be fixed or addressed? Any kind of bug or like unbalance or anything like that?
I currently don't feel as there's not much unbalancing. The only bugs I've really seen was with the bridges when say you're driving a truck over it and you just like hit this weird wall and it makes you like bounce a little bit. But really that's all I've seen about bug wise. Uh Things I wanted to probably fix. Probably the ballista range, the siege tank, but only like by a small margin so it's not overpowered. Really besides that, not really much.
Yeah, I'm aware that like these questions, like heavy questions about what do you think about balancing and stuff, maybe people that have been playing the game for ages would be better equipped to answer them. But I think it's important to hear voices of newer players as well. And so I'm glad that from your perspective, at least it seems that the game is running fine as it is. Are you excited for any new features that the devs indicated they might add? Did you hear anything about anything interesting?
The only recent thing I've actually seen was the current server merger that's going to be happening here soon. That's what I'm really excited about. Get us all back together. I'm just a little worried about the queue times and such because that was that was very annoying.
Yeah, we've seen what long queue times can do. Yeah. I some days I wasn't even able to get in. Like there were like 20 people queuing. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I've seen a 34Q for at least like an hour until I started moving.
Yeah.
That's when I found out we have to walk across borders instead of from home island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you haven't really noticed, the borders were very long.
Yeah.
And there was also difficulties here with training football people because there was a limit of how many people we could actually have in one area.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah.
Sniper, actually, a tough question. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
But
Actually, surprised. I've never actually had pineapple on pizza.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's interesting. And what kind of pizza do you actually eat usually?
Very weirdly, my favorite pizza is actually white pizza. It has no sauce. It's just the cheese and and the bread.
Like not
Oh,
even tomato sauce, not even
Nope.
ketchup.
No, but I would put oregano leaves on it.
I think I've never even seen that sort of pizza anywhere. That's crazy.
it isn't that crazy. I've seen them here, but wouldn't you like to put other types of cheeses on top? Parmesan or mozzarella?
Really?
Uh,
I've literally never seen, like, every pizza has ketchup on it, except for pizzas that have cream on them. Those don't have ketchup.
I've seen a deep dish pizza, like a very like
Does it relate?
deep bishop
Oh,
pizza.
I don't like deep dish pizzas. Like, I feel like I can't. Like, they're too big, you know.
Well, they got the new one that are like thin as paper.
actually, what do you think about role play?
Yeah.
Uh, I
We
don't.
are a role-playing clan.
Like, I mean, not role play in general, but role play in Foxhole. You know what we mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean with like all the advertisements and stuff. I think all the role playing makes it a little bit more lively, interactive. Gives your own little creative critique, but I don't really understand having it within like a unit, which I've seen before. It's like it's a game, make it fun. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, so you are not like against exactly. Like it just you just take it as a part of games.
Yeah, I take it. I take it as like a bystander. I'm okay with it, but it's not really my forte.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
like something that happens that you don't really care about.
Yeah.
That's a valid position to have. So you're not looking to become a role playing clan.
No, not really, actually.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Okay, is there anything you'd like to talk about or ask us in exchange?
How the hell does this Red Cross work? I never seen this, nor have ever heard of y'all.
What exactly do you mean? Like,
Like, what do y'all do as Red Cross? Do you like go
well,
around? Do you get
yes,
shot by the enemy like a
yes,
bunch of times?
yes.
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Especially since the ability to hear your enemies was removed, it's been really hard to communicate with the other side. But basically, what we do here is that we're a medical clan, and we are basically a neutral side in this conflict. We are trying our
Uh,
best to help everyone, no matter their allegiance, and try to save lives. That's the most important thing we do. Our medics that wear the Red Cross tag are restricted from carrying weapons, and they only carry medical supplies and only heal people.
uh,
Uh,
well, I'll make
besides
sure I won't hurt you.
besides our medics, we also have the Sun Guards, which is a sort of a protective outfit that helps protect vulnerable medics on the field and also enforces the Sunhaven Treaty.
They're pretty much the peacekeepers, the UN peacekeepers.
I kind of feel
Yeah,
bad for shooting some medics now.
You should.
definitely should.
I've blown up quite a few.
Well, I don't know if you heard of it, but there are some prisoner camps that that are
Yeah, we have
being built.
aligned ourselves with the
Yeah, but
military police.
Oh,
we don't have hands in this. We just it's not our thing. We are not building this. We are not even supporting this. So, do not accuse us from building prisoner camps.
Yeah,
But
I will.
that's the military police, guys. Okay.
yeah, but I've found quite important to say that for you and for our listeners that the Foxhole Gamer Cross organization is actually an inner project of the International Committee of the Red Cross, and that's the reason why we can legally use the name and the symbol of the Red Cross. And
Yeah,
that's actually quite a cool feature to know.
yeah.
That
That looks
is
pretty cool.
Like for all the people asking why we have a red cross and not a green cross, the Foxhole
Yeah.
developers obviously had to use the green cross because it's illegal to use the red cross in games.
Well, that's that's also an interesting thing. I thought 2 days ago I've read or I yeah I've read the first not whole because it has like 200 pages, but I've read the first Geneva Convention Treaty, and there is written that you can use the developers could use or can use the Red Cross on the ambulances, for example. But the problem there is that they can use it as it, but they need to they need to assure that these ambulances will be only used for medical purposes. So you will not run people over with that. You will not transport weapons and ammunition with ambulances, and I think it's obvious that it will be really hard to program, and so it's much easier to use actually Green Cross in game.
Yes.
Yeah, it is probably very because I've actually seen some ambulances carry Ignifuss or however you say it, and we actually used that against a couple of times.
I think it's pronounced Inkfist.
Inkfist. I never. You know like the pitch gun, the little submachine gun secondary. I keep calling it the spit gun. I don't know why.
Now it does spit a lot of bullets.
It does.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us today, Sniper. It's been nice having you.
Nice being here.
Yeah, indeed. Goodbye.
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 And as our next guest today, we have Toxic from the 141st CR.
We actually there is a slight change in the schedule, so we'll now invite to our live stream studio Erlik and Bratej, if my Russian is correct. Hello,
Hello.
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 Привет. How are you today?
Very nice, братец. Как у тебя дела?
Все супер.
Братец is also fine. Yeah, super.
Okay, so his name is pronounced Bratets, is that right?
Yes, it's right.
All right. So why don't you introduce yourself, your clan, what you do?
Братец, представься, пожалуйста, кто ты, что у нас за клан, чем мы занимаемся?
Я клан-лидер 3RD. Играем мы за Варденов. Являемся, наверное, самым большим русским комьюнити за варденскую сторону. И, возможно, за весь ру комьюнити Foxhole сообщество.
Okay, so we are a 3RD clan. We are playing as a wardens, and I think we are the largest warden community in this game, and possibly the largest Russian community in Foxhole.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us how old is the third clan?
Насколько мы старый клан? Сколько?
5-й год идет.
Okay, so we playing Foxhole for 5 years now.
Oh, that's pretty long time. You who is actually the founder of
Кто у нас
the
основатель?
first clan?
Уже можно подзабыть, было очень много основателей, около 3 человек, но знаю только Балтео и Динго.
So it was a little bit long story. We had 3 founders. One is Balteo, the second one is Dingo, and the third one Bratis doesn't remember.
So the Baltets is now a clan leader, right?
Bratis, yes, he's now the clan leader.
Okay, and so can you tell us what happened? Like, you know, every clan has its changes, but there is always a reason why these 3 founders are no longer in the clan or no longer leaders leading the clan.
Братец, можешь рассказать, как, собственно, клан пришел вот от стадии 3 основателей и до тебя как нашего клан-лидера? То есть какие события послужили таким изменениям?
Год назад буквально Балтео был до сих пор являлся клан-лидером, но произошел развал 3RD, большой и крупный, после которого 3RD разделилась на 3RD нынешнее и разветвление от него БФГ.
So, 1 year ago, Balteo still was the leader of the clan, but then it was an internal conflict in our community, after which third clan was splitted. So we had the third clan as it is now, and the other is BFG clan, which Balteo left for.
После того был назначен клан-лидером Селезень, но после полугода правления, так скажем, он передал права мне, и я уже являюсь нынешним клан-лидером на сегодняшний день.
Okay, so and after the splitting, the third clan was led by Selezen. He was our leader for half of the year. After that, he was a little bit burnt out and transferred the leadership to Bratets, but Selezen is still playing for us.
Okay, thank you. Well,
That's an interesting history.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, do you feel like, or tell me, how many, or what's the percentage of basically how many people in your clan can communicate in English?
Братец, как по-твоему, какой процент нашего клана может общаться на английском?
Ой, это достаточно мало людей, я думаю, около 50% всего нашего клана может разговаривать на нем очень хорошо. Не знаю, больше 30-50, я думаю, может понимать, но прям говорить вряд ли.
So quite a few of us could communicate English freely. So most of us, of course, could understand that and can communicate on the basic issues, like if the game is necessary. Yes, but free communication in English is a little bit of a problem for the Russian community.
And do you feel like you are improving in English when you read and listen to the English on the battlefield or in game?
Братец, как ты считаешь, вот лично твое знание английского увеличивается, играя в игру, то есть когда ты слышишь английскую речь на поле боя, читаешь английский чат?
Я думаю, немного есть. Я подучил немного слов, но я не считаю, что видеоигры могут поднатаскать очень сильно в английском.
So, a little bit. So, video games is not, let's say, the best learning course for English language.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Actually, we can go to our topics already. So, what would you like to add to the game?
То есть теперь мы пойдем по основным вопросам. И первый вопрос, что ты бы хотел добавить в игру?
Безусловно, со мной, наверное, согласятся много моих соклановцев. Мы очень ждем и надеемся, что в скором времени добавят поезда логистические.
So the first issue that this should agree most of our clanmates. So third clan is waiting for the logistic trains in this game.
Также я думаю, что развитие морского пути, там, военного либо логистического, тоже требует доработки.
Also, the sea warfare need to be improved in this game.
Yeah, I'm sure many people are waiting for trains to be added. That's a big topic in the community.
То есть, да, на самом деле достаточно большой процент комьюнити ждет добавления поездов.
So you feel that the water and boat combat should be expanded. Do you think that it would be productive if like boat to boat combat was added? Like if boats could shoot at each other and sink each other and things like that?
То есть, когда ты говоришь про морские битвы, ты имеешь в виду, что хотелось бы, чтобы корабли воевали с кораблями и топили как бы друг друга, и, по-твоему, это даст какую-то новизну игре?
Да, я думаю, это достаточно разнообразит игровой процесс, когда мы сможем сталкиваться в море именно кланами или просто открывать фронт на море, высаживаться на какие-то острова, я думаю, будет более интересней.
Yes, so the thing that expanding the sea warfare, then we have some battleship battles would benefit to the content of the game. So we could make some sea clan operations. Also, the landing operations would be much more interesting.
Do you think it would be interesting if maybe 2 or 3 regions were converted to be entirely water based and so we could have sea battles in those regions?
Как ты относишься к идее, что 2 или 3 региона могут быть полностью морскими, в которых в основном будут происходить морские сражения?
Ну, я считаю, что не должно быть полностью региона из воды. Я думаю, можно просто уменьшить количество островов, поставить на них пару реликов, там, таунхоллов, и за них уже будет производиться битва.
So we don't think that fully water regions would be nice. Our proposal would be to make the island maps with a little bit less amount of land, put some more relic bases into the smaller islands, and for these islands the player could go for the sea battles.
It's an interesting proposal.
Yeah, actually, do you what is the command or what is the rank structure in the third clan?
Какая у нас структура командования, ранги? Расскажи про это.
Ну, у нас есть младший состав, офицерский состав, старший офицерский состав, ну и клан-лидер. Но у нас устроено так, что клан-лидер советуется со всеми офицерами, и он выносит окончательное решение.
So we have lower ranks, then the officer ranks, the higher officers, and also the clan leaders. But normally, while preparing for some operation, the clan leader is discussing with all the officers the plans for the next war or for the specific operation.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, what do you think about as we talked about it before? What do you think about role playing in Foxhole?
Что ты думаешь по поводу РП в Foxhole?
Ну, я не осуждаю никого, кто ролеплеит, но сам считаю, что более полезнее для игры, наверное, и для удовольствия, мне кажется, это делать какие-то более направленные цели на развитие фронта и укрепление, чем на отыгровку каких-то действий боевых.
So, in Bratit's opinion, every could play the game he wanted, so he is not against the role playing in that game. But personally, he would prefer to have more, let's say, effective ways for the combat game.
Okay. Well, I will go into more detail in this. What do you think especially about Red Cross?
То есть, более такой конкретный вопрос, что ты думаешь про Красный Крест, то есть то, чем они занимаются?
Я сталкивался много раз с Красным Крестом на фронте, сейчас, конечно, поменьше встречаюсь, но в принципе неплохая отыгровка, это какое-то добавляет разнообразие игре каким-то заинтересованным лицам. Ну и я знаю, что они проводят разные операции, которые могут иметь отличный характер для фронта.
We met the Red Cross on the battlefields many times. Not a lot of you guys currently on the battlefield for some reason. So we think that it makes some specific content to the game, and your operations are normally quite interesting. So it's definitely a good thing to have because for some people that would be really the best content in that game.
Oh, yeah, thanks. That's a good thing. Yeah, thank you. Maybe the last question for me, a main topic of today. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Как ты относишься к ананасу на пицце, братец?
Во-первых, я скажу, что I want pizza. Но ананасовую пиццу я просто терпеть не могу. Это какой-то ужас.
He hate pineapple on the pizza.
My man. Yeah. And what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Какая любимая у тебя пицца?
Ну, скорее всего, классическая пепперони, ну и 50 сыров.
So classical pepperoni and 50 cheese.
Oh. And how about you, Erlich?
Oh, that's a difficult question for me. I think I like hot pizzas like Diablo,
Like
something
spicy
like that.
pizzas
Yes.
with chili peppers, maybe.
Yes, oh, more Chinese style, let's say.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
had a Chinese style pizza before.
I was in China and tasted the pizzas. It's quite interesting. It's you hardly can realize what are the ingredients of this pizza, but it's perfect. Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, well,
Since
thank you.
I have one more question. Sorry, Rose. What you guys think? I don't know if you already seen that or heard of it, but there is actually on the market there is a chocolate pizza. What do you think about that?
Братец, может быть, ты знаешь, уже есть шоколадная пицца. Что ты думаешь по поводу?
Знаю, я никогда не пробовал, но я попробовал, конечно.
He would try to taste it. And from my side, I could add this also interesting. It's not a pizza, of course, but the Ukrainian traditional dish as a pig fat in a chocolate.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll share this with my mom and maybe we'll figure it out. Anyway, yes. Are there any questions or things you would like to talk about, you guys? You two?
Есть у нас какие-то темы, которые мы хотим предложить?
Для чего?
Nothing.
Okay. Then thank you for being here. It was a pleasure, and see you on the battlefield.
Yeah, see you
Yep.
around.
Thank you for this stream. Yeah. See you. Bye bye.
Do widzenia.
Bye.
Bye. So, since our schedule has apparently become unreliable, I would ask Franz to introduce our next guest. And I would also like to mention
Alright.
that chocolate pizza is a crime against humanity.
Well, I will certainly vote for adding this to the Geneva Conventions as the next add. Yeah, it seems I don't know. It indeed must be really interesting to have this kind of pizza.
Did you know I heard that Swedish people put banana on pizza?
Banana? Ooh.
I don't know, that seems like an urban legend to me, honestly. Because why would
Well-
anyone put banana on pizza?
Now, my friends have told of it, but I haven't seen them try it yet. So.
Yeah. Well, I think a banana on pizza it's much better than, or you can better imagine it than a pizza with chocolate. So.
So long it is the banana on it after the pizza is cooked, then I'm okay with it.
Oh. Yeah. Well, anyway, our next guest is Sea Hunter from Swords of Marrow. Hello.
Hello, how are you all doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic.
Could you up your microphone a little? It's on the low side.
Yeah.
Yes, give me 1 moment.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine. I also have had some microphone issues, but I hope it's already fine. Should be. Anyway,
Just gonna test that. How do I go?
Yeah,
Sound?
that sounds much better.
yeah, much clearer and better.
Alrighty, thank you for telling me.
So, why don't you begin by introducing yourself and your clan?
I am Seeker Hunter from Som, or Swords of Morrow. We're one of the older colonial clans. Our speciality is more generalist. We don't try to focus on one thing in particular. We try to kind of cover all bases if we can.
Uh-huh. So, you're a colonial clan then. And
Yes.
how old exactly are you?
How old? I'm not sure on the exact date of how old Som is as a clan. I would say we're probably about 2 to 3 years old, would be my guess.
That's interesting. So you don't really focus on any specific tactic. You're kind of mixed arms or outfit.
Yeah, so I'd say how we generally work is we have individuals who lead operations, and we follow their speciality.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting strategy.
So there's not truly a leader.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said there's not truly a leader leading you. There's multiple.
It depends on the operation. We kind of do it so, of course, we have our head Lurkus, the clan lead. We have the tribunes right after him. But when we're doing an operation, it's whoever came up with the operation and whoever's done the planning and logistics works for that operation is the leader for that operation.
Right.
So you also have a sort of flexible command structure. Like it depends on what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, and so what we do is for our officers, the operational leader will kind of assign like the officers like myself to like do certain tasks. So I'll be put in charge of infantry,
Uh-huh.
and basically the operational leader will say, "Here's the objectives I need you to go do. Here are everybody who's doing infantry. Figure it out."
Yeah, so a sort of loose command structure. Okay. Well, and how long have you personally been playing Foxhole? And how long have you been in SOM?
I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary for Foxhole, and for SOM, it's been about 1 year and 5 months.
Ooh.
It's only so precise because recently checked it.
Have you always been a colonial?
Me personally, yes. Actually, funny story about that. I played Foxhole when I got my PC because of I Saw a Bear.
Oh.
But I decided I did not like the Warden aesthetics as much, so I decided I'm gonna go play Colonial.
Ah, the
Yeah.
aesthetics is the reason. Alright.
Yep, I had no concept about faction cultures, any of that. It's like I like the Green Man's car better.
Yeah.
It reminds you of a US soldier, let me guess.
Kind of. I just more like the more like industrial, kind of like sharper like edges and things that the Colonials have.
I thought the Wardens had sharper edges.
Well, the Warden vehicles are more like rounded. Like you look at like the front of the LUV, it has like the round curve. Well, the Colonials, it's just the grill. That's it. That's all you're working with.
Yeah, well, honestly, it doesn't really surprise me because when I like joined Foxhole for the very, very first time, I looked like at the both soldiers, at some screenshots, and I decided, like I said to myself, these guys, they look like they have those blue French uniforms on, and I like those blue French uniforms, so I'm gonna go Warden, and that's how it happened.
And that's how you joined the wrong side.
Yeah, well, but I personally think that the Warden vehicles just look better. I don't know what exactly it is about them. Maybe like they feel kind of sleeker, more rounded, as you'd say. Makes sense. Anyway, since you've been playing for a bit already, have you noticed anything that seems to be lacking in the game currently? Like trains, obviously, everyone knows that, right? But
And everyone wants them.
yes, exactly. But have you noticed anything that maybe there is space for improvement, or a feature that is missing from the game that you would like to see added?
So for me personally, my personal Foxhole Crusade has always been more utility options, so more things to do outside of combat, or to kind of assist combat in some capacity. And one of the things I thought about with all the recent talk about naval hopefully getting a rework at some point and what that might look like. One of the things I thought of was a hospital ship.
Oh, I think I saw that mentioned somewhere actually. Sounds really cool. Do you have a vision of how that could possibly work?
My personal idea would be it would be a mix between the hospital structure and a field hospital. However, its big advantage, of course, is it can be moved to a front line that's close to a shoreline. So it would have a lot more capability for submitting wounded soldiers. So you be able to process shirts and stuff quicker.
Uh-huh. Do you think it could work similar to the spawn ship that has the doors that open in the front, and that's where you would submit the patients?
Maybe. I think it could work possibly like that. I mean, for design-wise, I was kind of thinking a little bit more towards like the kind of like just post-war World War II type of style of hospital ship.
Uh-huh.
So something that's some mainline cruisers or defensive cruisers that have been converted and turned into hospital ships as like the war effort demands them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in this case, after the war, it was surplus.
Yeah, of course. Would you say that the hospital ships should have guns on them?
The hospital ships themselves, no. I think maybe a landing ship that would be understandable, but the hospital ship definitely not.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, even from the historical aspect, since these vehicles that were carrying the Red Cross were not allowed to have any defensive, even defensive weapons. So
I really thought they did have AA on them.
I don't think so.
No, hospital ships were specifically designed to be entirely white with the Red Cross prominently displayed on multiple locations on the ship.
Right, but sadly some didn't care. The Japanese.
Well, Eddie, don't look at Soviets or Japanese because these signed the Geneva Convention at year 1949, so 4 years after the war.
That is true.
Yeah, but they used the Red Cross even then for their own benefits.
Yeah. Speaking of white painted ships, what do you think about the roleplay aspect of Foxhole?
Roleplay aspect of Foxhole, something that I'm personally not super into. For me, that's something like if you're into it, go for it. But that's not something I've been personally interested in.
Yeah, and would you say that most of SOM shares your view on this?
I can't really speak for a majority of SOM members. I know that personally we don't really roleplay at all. However, we of course do borrow our name from the lore.
Yeah. Do you think, speaking of roleplay and new features that could be added, do you think it could be advantageous to maybe add like distinguishable uniforms based on roles or something like that?
I think it would be interesting and would add depth to the game. And I think it would also make things more interesting for the frontline combat too, because now maybe as a visual indicator you can see which infantry isn't just a rifleman, but he's a heavy machine gunner. So maybe he's carrying like some belts of ammo over his shoulder. It would make it a lot more like, okay, I need to prioritize what's going on here.
Yeah. I think the best way that could be done would be like with hats, colored hats maybe.
Hats, yeah, just slight uniform changes.
If I've understood right from the devs as well, is they might add it.
It's just that's the question of, for me, that would be a question of, is it player choice? So am I choosing to wear the engineer skin, and then can I run around as a rifleman, or am I given the skin of an engineer because I'm doing engineering?
I think it could be interesting if your outfit could change based on what you have in your inventory, but I'm not sure how difficult that would be to implement. Like if you're carrying a heavy machine gun, the bullet, like the strips of bullets appear on your shoulder, like 'cause you're carrying it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Something like Risk of Rain, if you've ever played that game.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh,
But I have heard of it.
The core premise is as you get more items, they start appearing on your character in different ways.
Yeah, something like that could be nice.
That's a cool feature. Well, I had a quick thought when we are talking about roleplay, because it almost seems like that every time we talk about role playing here on the in the broadcast, everybody says like sometimes they say yes, we like it, and the other half says like yeah, if somebody wants to do that, then fine. And it's almost seems like that people just or the guests just don't want to actually say their true opinion here because it's a Red Cross broadcast, you know. But
I know
yep.
personally for me, I've encountered people role playing, and sometimes maybe like I personally will like, say some stuff, but then usually I'll leave right after. I don't if I do it at all, I don't lean into it hard at all. It's just again something that just kind of like is there and it's neat, but not something I would ever seek out.
Oh well, actually, how many members do you have? The SOM?
Some I can't give an exact number. Unfortunately, we don't have our.
What is it classified?
It's not classified. It's just we don't have it posted anywhere. But I would say I would give like a rough estimate of upwards of 100 members. About I would give about like 40 active members for just like week to week.
That's cool. Number?
Yeah, we actually do have. If you have on your Discord the me bot, then I recommend there are some counters, like on our Discord server. It looks
We have counters. I just do not know. I just do not know if because how our counter is set up. I believe it's only like certain officers can see like the full numbers, just because like how the bot's set up, because it's kind of funky.
Well, you are not officer because what is actually the ranking system? Because you have a C in your name, so what does that stand for?
So I am technically an officer. I'm at our lowest rank of officer.
Which is
Centurion.
Oh.
I'll go through our whole rank system here. So starting off, we have a Legionnaire. This is our newest member to the clan. They have joined the clan formally. They've participated in a few operations. I think going up, we have Decanus. It's more of a baseline member. This is someone who's had a bit more experience. It's more of a promotion showing that they have progressed in their skills and are very, they're fairly active as well. Then we have Vicarious. This is our veteran rank. This is the rank just below Centurion. So this is kind of the rank just before an officer. And we have a good amount of Vicariouses because they're also kind of our like retirement range, for lack of a better term. We of course we have people that come and then we have people that come off and take breaks and.
Yeah, we actually do. Does your ranks are sorted into some sections?
The
Sorry?
thing that we do have is once you reach the rank of Vicarious, we actually have like little first, second, and third. And those are kind of like notorieties of like you've been doing a lot for the clan and we appreciate it. So if someone does a lot of logistics, they're primarily going to be a Vicarious 3, which is our current highest ranking Vicarious. Or you're someone who's very active for lots of operations.
So it's more like a medal of recognition rather than like a status marker or something like that.
Yeah, it's more of like a recognition of like, hey, we appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, that's
Seeker,
very interesting.
It will be a sin to not ask you this question, since everybody before you had the opportunity to talk about it.
Is it the pizza?
Yes, it is. What do you think about pineapple on pizza?
Not my cup of tea, but if you're gonna do it, cool. I'm someone who's very much like, hey, do your own thing as long as it's not impacting other people.
Okay, so that's your stand for pizzas. That's your stand for opinion about roleplay and pretty much everything in the world, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, but the
Well,
issue,
that's
but the
really
issue is that pineapple pizza does impact other people. Think of all the poor Italians that have to live in a world where pineapple pizza exists. I have to cry myself to sleep every night just thinking of pineapple pizza.
Yeah. So when you will be trying to fall asleep tonight, just imagine me eating the pineapple pizza, because I will be doing that today. Yeah.
Stop!
So
These war crimes must be stopped. I'm calling the 40. I'm calling the 40th MP.
still better than chocolate pizza, isn't
Get
that?
him, NPs, get him. You can't be allowed to do this any longer.
He's
You
too
actually know
dangerous
that?
to be left alive.
Seeker, do you actually know the military police regiment?
No, I do not.
Yeah, it's quite a new clan, and I personally will not even know about them, but they are role players, or at least their leader is a even bigger role player than everybody here multiplied. So
Sadly to inform you, he has stopped.
yeah, I know he is now taking break from it. Yeah, so that's quite sad, but he contacted me immediately, since he's a big role player in his heart. Anyway, last question from me: Do you have you ever dreamt about being an actual among the highest ranking people in your clan, or is that just
Some personally, my personal goal for Solemn is to get to Perfectus, which is just the officer rank above my current one.
Mhm.
And nothing really would really change, but I think just personally it's kind of like a neat goal to kind of shoot for.
Mm-hmm. So, since you said that nothing will really change, does it mean that officers do not have any additional responsibilities?
There's some. Centurion to Perfectus is more internal responsibilities.
Uh-huh.
For like people and member management. And there's also a little bit more of an expectations for operations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That you'll be organizing them.
Yeah,
But
sure.
past that, yeah, there's not really a huge change between Centurion and Perfectus. I should also mention, though, when I say people planning operations is not limited just to the officer ranks.
Oh, so anyone can plan an operation.
As long as they're a member of a clan, a clan. As long as they're a member of our clan, Legionnaire, Vicarious, Denicus, anybody can plan an operation.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Yeah. Thank you for being here. It was quite a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you guys for hosting.
It was
No
nice,
problem.
very nice having
Welcome.
you.
See you on the battlefield. Hopefully, you will not kill us.
Hopefully, I'm sorry to say I am a little bit of a shoot first, check the bodies later.
Well, you know, if you will be able to take him back and secure him some medical treatment, then yes, we are not against this strategy, but
I'll do my
I'll
best.
try to avoid you most of the time now.
yeah, unfortunately, it's quite
Good
hard.
rule of
without
thumb.
Voice chat. Yeah, without a voice chat, it's quite hard these times.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, yep. Thank
If
you.
it does happen, just know it's not personal.
No hard
No
feelings.
problem. We will immediately report you to the military police, and you will be immediately deported into the prisoner camp.
That we don't know about.
Yeah,
Then-
we don't know where it is.
We actually have no idea.
Send me back to Valley.
But one of our officers had actually done an inspection in one of these prisoner camps, but it was the last war, and it was in the end, so I didn't even recognize there was any prisoner camp. But he said, from his report, what I've read, it is quite humane, and the prisoners have some.
So it's not just a scrap field and some sledgehammers.
Maybe.
Wait, Franz, you didn't go there, check yourself.
No. As I said, the Holy Creek was there, so.
Sure, I believe his word.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Anyway.
sure he got some prisoner escape cards for that report. But it's another chapter.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
thank
story
you,
for another
speaker.
time.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Have a good one.
See you
Goodbye.
soon.
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
people, I have to head off. I gotta train some people. You know how it is.
Of course.
See everyone later. Enjoy the stream, everyone.
Okay, so following up with the next guest, who is Marcus from 45th
Hello.
Division.
Hello.
Hello
Nice to
there.
see you again.
Yes, I'm happy to be here once more.
Yes.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, we actually, I actually missed your, you know, your charisma and your mouth, because you just sometimes don't stop talking, and that's great. That's great. That's why you are here.
Yes, I can talk and talk and talk and never stop, as long as there's something to talk about.
So, why
Well-
don't you briefly reintroduce yourself and your clan for our new viewers that we might have in
Well,
the
I'm
audience?
the leader of the 45th Division. And basically, the 45th Division is a bit of a 2-year-old plan. We focus on infantry. We value our organization. That's what we take as the highest regard. That's the most important thing to us, is that we keep ourselves organized. I think that's the best summary I can give about the plan.
Okay. Speaking of organization, would you like to talk a bit more about your command structure that you have in your clan?
Sure, definitely. So right now, we're basically using a fire team structure where, depending on the manpower, so usually we want 5 people in a fire team, but it's between 4 and 5, and those are in a different squatting game and a different voice channel on Discord. And then we have me and my second in command, Jonathan, who is in another channel on Discord, Company Command Center, where we use a third software, Gilded, to communicate between the fire teams, and when it's more complicated, we go down and tell them. So basically, we try to make a realistic organizational structure, which this fire team system helps with.
Yeah, so basically, if it is too simple, then there is Marcus who will make it much more complex and complicated. No, I'm just joking, of course. I know that your structure is quite effective.
Yeah.
So, and I also know that you have another platform than Discord to communicate. Is that correct?
Yes, Gilded. It's made by the same people as Discord, The reason we don't use TeamSpeak is because TeamSpeak costs money. So yeah.
Alright, as we were talking with other guests here, is there anything you would like to add to the game?
Oh, I would like to see Valley in the game, and as well as trains, obviously.
Yes, trains, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. I was when we were having this conversation like a few months ago with maybe there was a Rose as well. We were thinking about having a like not nature animals added into the game. Like the maps will be much it will pretty much feel like that the maps are living, and you know it's not just a map or just a landscape, but
Yeah,
there's
like
actually something
maybe you
living.
can see deer running around, or maybe rabbits or
Yeah,
something like
or
that.
you are just
Possibly.
fighting or to ambush somebody, and suddenly a bear just reaps your back.
Sure, that could possibly work, but we also need to see from a player's perspective. They might get annoyed that they're waiting partisaning for a big convoy coming through, and then a fucking bear attacks and you die.
Isn't that real?
Yeah, but like you have to balance between gameplay and realism, I think.
Oh yeah, of course.
Said by a person who's organizing his clan structure based on actual like military fire teams.
Well, yes, but it helps. It really does.
Yes, I'm just joking. I myself am not sure if the bears are such a good idea, but I think that like adding just non-hostile animals that could just run around and
Sure,
be,
like an umbral, like hares, deers.
yeah, stuff
Like
like
you,
that.
you can't kill them or anything, they'll just be there like a cosmetic. That could work, but we also need to think about the servers, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But maybe like horses, because you know you can use
Calf.
horses for transport and stuff. So that will be, I think, that's an animal that needs to be added, since we are like
I agree with that. Horses would be rarely useful to have, considering like they don't need fuel. And it's good like early game
mhm.
as well. Plus cavalry charges.
Yeah, you really want to sit in your trench and suddenly see the cavalry just charging on you.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think about clan structures? What do you? I'm not talking about platoons and stuff and fire teams, but I'm talking about rank structures and stuff. What's
Rank structures.
how is
Well,
it, for
that
example,
I
in the
think
40?
like in the 45th we base ourselves off the American structure from World War II.
Uh-huh.
But I think it should be up to the clan, in the individual clan, what the ranking structure should be. There is no best or worst ranking structure. It's all up to the clan leader and the community that's in the clan, you know?
Well, um, I will now ask a philosophical question. Oh, not that much philosophical, like, I don't know, what's the point of life? What's the point of living? But a bit like that.
Well, I could answer you that question, so.
Well, I will ask you, that will be next question for you then. Rose,
Fair enough.
remember that. So, since you know, when you establish clan, there's always, I didn't see a single clan that is younger than 1 year that actually have any other structure than autocratic, or basically there's one leader, and you know there may be some officers that helps him, yes, but
Yeah.
he holds the power basically.
So you're
Since
talking about hierarchy then?
hierarchy, yeah. So, do you think that since Red Cross and 45th are quite you are older than us probably, but we are quite old clans. Do you think we should transfer a bit to some I don't know, more democratical system or some other system?
To be honest, I don't think a democratic system will work in this sense. Like, if you make it too democratic, it just like it won't fit. Like, take my clan for example. We have NCOs, we have NCO meetings afterwards where we talk about what we should do, but eventually I will have to take the decision because someone will have to take the final decision. And if no one takes the final decision, you can get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it doesn't lead to anywhere. Anyway, so you can have like, a council of advisors, sure, but there should be one person taking the final decision when necessary.
Well, okay. Well, what did I expect from a conversation between two autocrats? But anyway, the reason why I asked that question is that the Red Cross was also I basically as a leader and founder held all the power, but few months ago we had a reform and with help of Rose here, the Red Cross formed a constitution that is based on some really basic aspects of democracy. So because so people now can vote about changing the structure. I need approval of majority of my officers to do some really radical steps in changing the Red Cross and stuff. It was mainly because there was a mistake from my side when we were establishing a Steam group, and since I wanted to get more people there, I said it like, here you need to join this group, and then suddenly many officers were like, but you didn't ask us. Why don't you first discuss with us about your next steps, etc. So since that point, I decided to share my power with the officer staff, but it's not that officer based. It's also like our volunteers, our members can vote about, can hold a voting about stuff. So
Yes, but the officers hold most of the power, obviously.
yeah, with me.
I did think of something that I might want to do at some point, but right now the 45th is very top heavy. But in the future, I was thinking maybe having like one enlisted in our NCO meetings, giving input from the enlisted side. This is another advisor. Usually we agree on stuff, and when I'm not sure about something, I ask my lowers, like my second in command. I rely very much on him, and sometimes I listen to my officers when sometimes I'm personally against it. But the thing is that I don't think like fully democratic system is good. I believe it should be a leader with whoever he thinks is trustworthy enough to give him advice. And then he uses that advice as he pleases. If he doesn't listen to the advice and it goes wrong enough times, the clan could fall apart. But if the leader listens, then it stays alive. Like, I believe that if you're not a good leader, your clan won't survive. But if you're a good leader, it will. You just need to keep at it.
Well, honestly,
that's
like
a compliment to me as well.
from this perspective, that's like it's a very valid point that someone has to make the decisions and stuff, and that's why our system isn't like the leader needs approval for everything. It's more like it sets out a mechanism where if there's a decision or something or some change at the top that really lots of people disagree with, they have the authority to say like, no, this is not going to happen. So it's more like like a stopgap rather than an election or an approval process.
I think that will happen automatically. If I did something very unpopular with my clan, in my clan, I think my clan officers would react the same.
Yeah, of
No
course.
matter if they have the authority or not. I believe you don't need to make a democratic system. I just believe if you are an officer and you see something that's wrong, you need to tell the leader. And then the leader needs to at least listen to what said officer has to say.
That's obviously true, and that would absolutely happen. But I think that it's positive to have like a predetermined setup system for what happens in these situations, so there's not like chaos and people shouting over each other. But there's a procedure, you know.
And from my perspective, this mechanism that I need to go through when I'm making a decision prevents from making wrong decision. There will of course be reactions of the officers even without this system, but if I will not, because when I will want to make a decision or set something up, and there will not be this mechanism, I will automatically do it, and after it ask, or they will say it the feedback. So this mechanism prevents me from doing some strict changes, and but this mechanism is just for the officers to have more power. But we leaders know that in these communities, the respect to the leader and the authority is everything what matters. So if I will be a dumb leader, then people here will be like, France is not good anymore, and they will stop respecting me. So it is also about respect, not only about the systems. Yeah.
Yeah, like as I said last time, I'm not sure if you can remember, but you asked me about how to lead a clan and any good tips.
Yep.
I remember I said that do whatever, it's your clan as long as you have fun. That like let me go back to this. Like I personally don't think it would work. Like I personally don't think it would be a good idea. But if you manage it to work, then it's fine. Like you shouldn't be held back. If you believe it's gonna work, you try it out. If it fails, you try something different. As long as you have fun, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it surely is. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
for me, it was fun writing the Constitution, so there's that.
Yeah, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
How dare you?
Anyway, like, just between us three here and our listeners, being a leader or creating a clan from scratch, to be honest, it pretty much improves your soft skills of leadership and empathy and stuff,
And communication.
Yeah, communication as well, and English for me most importantly, because I pretty much, yeah, I remember my English when I started, when I established the Red Cross, and there is a big development, big improvement.
Yeah.
So I advise everybody who is listening here to actually be in the community, participate actively, and buy yourself finally a microphone, because without it you will not improve.
Yeah, I would highly advise anyone that's gonna be a clan leader to get a mic. Another thing is, if I can remember, lost my train of thought. So yeah, fuck, sorry, but yeah, let me think here for a moment. About my brain just farted. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine, completely fine.
Oh yeah, now I remember. So, if you start a clan and you have a hard time at the beginning, that's fine. Like, take the 45th. like we went very back and forth. Like it took us almost 2 years to get up to the manpower we're at now, like the 10 to 12 we usually play at events. The thing is like back in the day, I actually have a story here. I remember, at least I don't remember, but someone told me in the clan that I apparently had a flanking route, a plan, right? And then what happened next, basically, I ran straight into a gun nest. And I died, and my second had to take over. Like, I made a mistake. And the thing is, I wasn't a very good leader back in the day, but I've improved greatly over time.
Well, Marcus, do you have, or I know you, it wasn't that long time ago that you have stepped down for a while, like for a week, maybe two.
Yes, that was personal life
Uh-huh.
getting in the way.
I mean, your clan was able to go even without your leadership, and that is a thing I really miss in Red Cross,
Mm-hmm.
because I personally do not have, as you said, the right hand. But yeah, I do have a right hand here, and I even have a left hand and right leg, but um, but there is not a person who will be able to grab that leadership of the organization, drive it without my advice or without my activity here. So,
Yeah.
do you have, or who is that? Who is your right hand? Tell me. And
That
yeah,
I
so
have said it multiple times. I also use them as references even in this interview here. My second in command, Jonathan. The clan would not have survived if it wasn't for us working together as one. It took a long time, but we got our footing and we have carved ourselves a little place in the Foxhole community where we can have events, kill wardens, and have fun. One thing I'd like to point out, I am colonial, so. But
yeah,
yeah.
so killing colonial equals fun. I see.
No, 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 no. You mistook wardens.
Sorry, yeah, killing.
Especially Red Cross. Especially Red Cross.
I'm calling the military police right now.
Well, I am allies of the military police, so.
God damn it.
Our only weakness.
Yep. Well, so since we are talking about this, this is an announcement for all our listeners. The Foxhole Game Red Cross organization is currently recruiting people that are capable of leading to be my right hands in case. And
You need multiple right hands.
well, I do need, because I need to do multiple things with this right hand. But that's another chapter. Anyway,
Can I also pitch? Can I also
Okay.
pitch here?
Yep.
Oh, sure.
So the 45th is always recruiting new members. Like we don't care how many hours you've had. You can just pick up the game, or you can play the game since it came out. Welcome anyone, as long as they're willing to cooperate and follow orders. As my second in command says, it's become a popular trope within the clan. We need soldiers, not warriors.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marcus,
Yes.
you know what comes next.
The final question.
The final, ultimate question for you, and then one more about the matter of life, of living, but that's not the ultimate question.
Yes. What is the ultimate question?
Do you like, or what do you think about, here it comes, drums, please, pineapple on pizza?
Pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
Ooh, it's very simple for me. I don't prefer it, but if that's the only thing there is, I can live with it. It's not that it tastes horrible. The taste is okay, but I prefer a meat lover instead if I can choose.
Well, I will say that I do not like pineapple on pizza, but when I do receive a pineapple pizza, which has happened to me, what I do is I eat the pineapples first and then eat the pizza.
Well, that's interesting. Well, I do like the sweet taste of the pineapple on the pizza because I don't know, it just tastes good. Even though yes, there are much better pizzas that taste much better, but this is okay for me personally. And Marcus, as I promised you, can you answer the another ultimate question?
The
What's the
meaning
matter
of
of
life.
living?
What's the meaning of life?
Yeah, meaning
Playing
of life.
Foxhole and doing logi. No, I'm just kidding. So, the
What?
actual meaning of life is reproduction, letting your species live on. That is the actual meaning of life for every single species. So there you have it.
Well, that's a thing I can agree on for a species, yes. But this cannot feed our intelligent minds. So you always need probably something else than just reproduction. I mean, family is not purely a reproduction. Reproduction is the act of mm, uh,
Doing the dirties.
I know, yes, yes, and and that's all basically. So what
Well,
is
the reason you reproduce is so that you have children who can then do logi in Foxhole. It's obvious, isn't it?
Yes, yes, there
obvious?
you go. That's it. That's
That's
it.
the spirit.
Marcus, have you already designated an heir to your throne?
What do you mean by my throne? You mean the clan or what?
Clan throne.
My clan. Well, if it came to it, it would be my second in command because he's the obvious choice, going after the
Your
hierarchy.
children are not inheriting your throne.
So yeah, when I
Future.
left for a little while, it was actually Jonathan who took over. So
Well, anyway, one more personal question. What's your own personal matter of life?
I don't know. I don't have any. I'm sitting inside bored all day because of the stupid virus. So
Well,
Okay, but what's your day-to-day motivation? Tell us.
I don't have any.
Okay, okay, I know it's a logic. It's logic. Okay, that answers everything.
yeah.
That's fine.
You just don't want to admit that you just sit inside all day doing logi.
Actually, I don't really do lunch that much. I get my clan
Or
guys. to
or
do it.
telling people to do more logi.
Yeah, like with Logi, like let me be serious here for a second. Like, due to how the game currently is and logistics, I hate doing Logi.
Uh-huh. Well, I enjoy doing logi if it is like preparations for operation, but otherwise, not, not. I'm
Like,
not doing it as
the best Logi I can do is driving back and forth.
well. Like you mean like delivering supplies?
Yeah, basically, I did that last night to Lockheed. I was getting basically we gave Lockheed some supplies. They went bananas and they basically just wasted all. They ran out of soldier supplies on multiple occasions as a friendly run back and forth, taking from the 45th personal stockpile, if I may add, to supply Lockheed.
What?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Well,
That's crazy.
that is crazy.
Well,
Well, Marcus, since you have answered our two ultimate questions, I think we can let you go. And the last thing I want you to, I have actually a present for you. It's an invitation to a prisoner camp.
I'm not going to prison, mate.
No, it's just an invitation. So it's a present, so you should accept it. Even the invitation.
I
No
will
worries, we-
accept the invitation. Just write me a note and I have it, and I can cash it in later when I feel like it. But yeah, so yeah.
No worries. There has been an inspection, Red Cross inspection. So they will
Well, I've heard accusations of the Red Cross being bribed, so I don't know how much that's really worth the inspection. Yeah, I've
Those are
heard the
rumors
bribe,
only.
Yeah,
man.
just
You can't hide it forever. You can't hide it.
well that doesn't feel like Red Cross actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you would say that.
Corruption here. There is no corruption. Look at me. Look at me. I am not corrupted. Totally not.
But yeah, but a person who isn't corrupt would obviously say that he isn't corrupt.
Yes, but a person that is honest and doesn't lie also will say he's not corrupt.
Well, who says you aren't lying, eh?
I'm surely not. I am the embodiment of the goodness and kindness on this world.
Are you sure about that?
Yes,
Like, no, no,
humanitarian organization.
yes,
Is that a bet?
you founded the Red Cross,
I
yes,
joke to you, and I
But-
joke to you.
but I also heard other rumors about you. You like to take the wounded and grind them up and eat them.
Sell them to
You
McDonald's.
can't hide from those accusations.
That cannot be true.
I'm gonna bring my Photoshop here, and then I'm gonna get some proof for it here. So
But until that time, you do not have any proof. So
I do have proof. I have
Our
I have
own
multiple
rumor.
people escaping from the hellhole of the prisoner camps to
okay,
yet tell me the story.
I will tell you the story. No, I will tell you the actual thing. What you said here are only rumors from a marketplace you have visited last month, and that's all.
Yeah, but those rumors have some clout. Like there is something there.
Of course, no. I cannot
Okay.
admit to that because
Yeah, because of course you can't admit to that. Like.
Okay, I think this discussion is getting out of hand, so it's time
Yeah,
we
yeah.
employ
It's becoming a meme.
we employ censorship immediately. Deploy censorship.
yes.
Yeah.
Get
So
Cancelled.
thank you for coming, Marcus. It was very nice having you again.
Yeah, it was nice to be here.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I'll be happy to see you
See you in the
again.
prisoner camp.
I'm not going to prison.
No, see you on the battlefield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, lads.
Yes, you too. Goodbye.
Indeed. Goodbye.
Right.
All right. That was a funny discussion as expected. Okay. Anyway, the next guests are from the Sapphire Sentinels, and it's Popo, Sally Snow, hello, and Cyvrai, who has been here at the last time. Hello there.
Hey, hello.
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 How
it's
have you
nice
been?
to see you here.
Last
It's been wonderful. Spending a lot of our times base building, but we're doing just fine.
Ooh. Base building, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's start with introduction of your members here. So, Popo, can you tell us something about you? What's your role in the Sapphire Sentinels? Because we know that Cyvrai is a leader. So, what's your role in the clan? And who are you?
Well, I was, I have been in the Foxhole game for over a year now, and with the SSC it was the same because I joined basically instantly when I started playing. I've been a console, which is the main basically of leading role for over, I don't know, half a year maybe. I joined last summer, so yeah, it could be half a year. And that's, I think, all. I don't have anything special to say about me.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Salty Snow, what about you?
If I may add something for Popo, I would say he's pretty much the leader of our European division. He runs the Wednesday ops for Europe.
Okay, well,
For myself,
Mhm.
so I've been in Foxhole for I think 2 years now. Started during like the first trench update, and I've been in SSE pretty much since the new beginning. I was invited in by one of the old clan leaders because I was in an offshoot clan that split off from SSE. Shortly after I joined, I was rapidly promoted to corporal, and then as like one of the only remaining active members, I got invited to be part of the council as a consul, which is like it's the leading role, but there's 5 of us, and we have like democratic leadership of the clan.
Oh well, that's a interesting change here because the last guest Marcus was pretty. His opinion was about this was that he basically prefers the autocratic systems. So we will surely talk about this later on. Yeah. So you talked about you mentioned Salty that Popo is leading operations for Europeans. So are there like what's your member base? Are there like more Europeans or more I don't know Americans probably?
We have 3 divisions. The Timberwolf is the North American division. Tiger Shark is the I get these ones mixed up. I think Tiger Shark is Europe.
It's European, yes.
And then the Trigonometry division
Is
which
for
is Asian
time zone, yeah.
Wait, what was the name? I just
Timberwolf for North America.
Yeah.
Tiger Shark for Europe, and Trigonometry for Asia.
Is there a special story behind these names?
There is, primarily being that they are the last remnants of the old leadership.
Oh.
They're about the only thing that remain in our Discord of the original structure of the clan.
And the name obviously, but
yes, the names.
Yeah.
So as for the member base, we're mostly North America and Europe. We have a few Asian members, and so our operations tend to span like the Europe and North America time zones, with the later part often the Asian crew joining in.
They do have we do have a few Asians running their own ops every now and then. They have their own and they do their own things for the most part.
Yeah, we also had Asians. We probably still have, but since our operations are European based about the timing, then they are not active anymore. Basically, yeah. Anyway, about the structure now, about your, as you said, democratical structure. How does it function? Is the democracy, like my main question about this is that if the democracy is only in the leadership, or if the democracy is also a thing in the whole clan.
So I can talk a bit about this. So we try to be as open and clear as we can with our clan members. Most of the time, one of our big rules is that we accept criticism or discussion of any part of the administrative process of our clan from any member. They can speak up and say what they wish, and we will take what they say into consideration. However, most of the actual administration is undertaken between the council, where we decide and vote on specifically what we want to, whatever is on the scale. So if we want to change the name, we will of something, we will discuss it, figure out a name that we all like, and then we'll vote on it, see if we all agree, and then we'll accept it. But if someone has, like, in our clan has a suggestion, we can take that suggestion to the council and we discuss it, see if it's worth adding. And this can be about anything from structure to names. And so that's kind of how we're trying to be democratic, because we can't really have every single member involved in the democracy because it's not really feasible to have all of our members try to decide. So we just say that these 5 people are the ones that look over stuff, and we try to make it as diverse as possible. So we have the biggest group, a biggest grouping of people to look over something, and anyone, if they have like a problem with something or if they want something to change, they can just bring it up to a console, and we can then discuss it.
Okay, so in short, it can be called democratical oligarchy, technically.
Technically,
Yeah.
yes.
Technically, yes.
Unfortunately,
club
many people under the name of oligarchy, they really like imagine something really bad, but you know, oligarchy is just a term for a system where a group of people are ruling actually. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like a not a representative democracy, but more like a classical republic sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Anyway, about let's move on to the topics we have prepared. So the first thing, is there anything you would like to guys add into the game?
Except trains, because everyone wants
Yeah,
trains.
we already talked about it
Dang.
1,000 times.
You missed it. I was going to say that.
That one's obvious, but besides that,
So I'll leave this to Popo and Salty. What are you guys' thoughts?
I really want to make trenches useful in the game because for now they are just mostly used as a trench connectors in bunker bases. And when you build them, usually some veteran just shouts at you. So I think they should try adding some trench busting or trench clearing weapon, like for example, flamethrowers and incendiary grenades. I think that would be cool. Also, naval warfare needs to be expanded. Skins. There are lots of things, to be honest. What do you
So
think?
actually, to back it up on that point, I was actually thinking about this earlier about making trenches more useful. And one of the ways that I thought that could potentially be used is having rifle garrisons like AT turrets in bunkers. You're able to walk through them. So you can make pathways underneath the rifle garrison or the AT turrets to walk through your trench lines, and you wouldn't have to have like these walls separating you from getting from place to place.
yeah, it's funny that when I played Foxhole for the very first time, I actually thought like that's how it's supposed to work. So I was constantly trying to go through rifle garrisons, and it wouldn't let me, and I was confused about that before I found out that it's not supposed to do that. So that's a really interesting idea. But to uh, to go back to what Popo said about trench clearing weapons, do you feel that green ash grenades are not like enough of a bunker busting weapon?
Well, I do think that green ash is mostly seen as really, well, toxic weapon, literally. Because
Humanitarian, I would say.
yeah, I see green ash as having basically no counter because it has a huge throwing distance. It can, when you throw a green ash, it basically clears the trench out for a while, and then the faction that throws the green ash next just gets the trench again. So it's going back and forth until one of the sides either run out of green ash or out of shards. I think flamethrowers would fix that because they will be a lot shorter ranged, and they will also, have a lot more uses. You won't have just 3 nades or something like that.
Well, there are the gas masks as a countermeasure for green ash.
Oh yeah, but gas masks. First of all, they are the next tech for some reason.
Yeah.
Second, they are really, really expensive and pain in the ass to use and produce.
Not to mention green ash spam, which is often used to counter gas masks.
I
Yep.
believe green ash was recently nerfed. It's like half as many grenades per crate now, so it's more difficult to lodge the green ash, which mitigates the spam.
And also, flamethrowers, I think, should be, well, shit against concrete bunker bases because, well, concrete doesn't burn, does it? So it would make concrete trenches a lot more useful, I think. Well, if they removed or nerfed green ash a lot.
Or
Yeah,
banned green ash because it's inhumanitarian, you know.
Well, since we are talking about a about a flamethrower, wouldn't it be cool to have, like, be able to light up the trenches with fire with the flamethrower, for example, so they burn out, or I don't know, they just it gives them additional damage just because they are structures made of wood.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but it depends on what the devs want to do. I think both of these options would be viable. I would personally make it that way that the trenches wouldn't be destroyed because in the end they are just dirt. You know,
Oh yeah.
fire doesn't do anything about dirt, but bunker bases and foxholes, things like that, should be destroyed not instantly but really fast by flamethrowers.
And maybe perhaps the actual trench itself could burn for a while, doing damage to
Yeah,
anyone
exactly.
who tries to get
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
makes
would love
sense.
that for bushes and grass as well, to be able to
Yeah, that
deny
would be
those
really cool. Really cool.
time.
And then now that we have weather systems in the game, so when it's raining, they could be useless, the flamethrowers, you know, or like reduced fire
Reduced
time, you know.
reduced damage, or only does direct damage, or doesn't
Yeah,
have
something like that.
AoE. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
burn structures.
the flame throwing distance, like should be reduced when it's raining.
Yeah.
How far would you think actually a flamethrowing distance would be good at? Like, you don't want something that shoots too far, but you don't want something that shoots too short either.
10 meters maybe as a revolver. You know,
Yeah,
you don't
maybe.
want, you don't want to use it as a green ash because that would be just useless to replace one weapon with another. I think it should be, in a World War II fashion made, which was a longer range weapon than in Foxhole, but again, rifles in Foxhole should be firing at least a kilometer, you know, range. It's hard to say. It's all about balancing and numbers.
Yeah, that would probably have to be figured out. I know that in real life, some flamethrowers fire like really far, like much further than you'd expect. So that would have to be addressed, obviously. Well, since we're talking about features, I was also wondering if any of you like noticed a particular bug or some kind of error in the current build of the game that they would like to see fixed, or that particularly irritates them.
Yes. I am continuously annoyed by like terrain geometry, how the rocks aren't like representative of how the terrain actually works, and you can get stuck in some areas. Like there's areas around bridges where you just get stuck and you're done. There's no way out of that. And I believe there was a nerf to climbing recently. They made it more difficult. You have to kind of be more straight on with the surface that you're trying to climb. Some surfaces are not climbable anymore. And I think that was just trying to cut back on like the high ground advantage a little bit. I'm not sure though. But yeah, I'd definitely like to see climbing, verticality, all that stuff overhauled, and the terrain worked on quite a bit.
Yeah, because you're getting stuck like even earlier today.
Yeah. On a tiny little ditch.
Yeah, there are all those little holes in hard to reach places that just get you stuck, and you'll have to kill yourself to get out of. I don't think should be addressed at some point.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because there were times where I just wished they had put an invisible wall somewhere so I didn't fall to some like terrible location, you know. And especially like the geometry with vehicles is especially difficult. Like sometimes there are some specific spots like on roads that have the stone walls like surrounding them tightly, that like you're just driving and then you come to a complete stop in 0.2 seconds because you clipped like by a millimeter the side of your vehicle on the stone wall that is suddenly appearing. So
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
yeah, thankfully I haven't lost any ambulances yet to bad terrain, but I feel like it's just a matter of time, honestly.
Yeah, the driving skills of Mr. Rose are very admirable.
Well, don't mention that one time I took a wrong turn and then had to spend like 2 minutes just trying to turn around in that narrow passage.
Yeah, that was really, really annoying. Anyway, guys, what do you the question of today's evening. Um, Prepare mentally. You probably know what is coming. So, what do you think about pineapple on pizza?
So we're starting.
I guess I'll start since I have probably the most indifferent opinion. Never had it, don't know what it tastes like, and I can't make a judgment on it.
It tastes bad, never try it.
No. It's the sweet taste. It's really good on the pizza.
Exactly. I order Hawaii pizza, that one with pineapple, every single time. I don't know why people hate it. I can see it from Italian standpoint, but other people, I don't get it. It's perfect.
You know, France is pretty good. I'm actually making a list currently of everyone that agrees to pineapple pizza.
Ooh.
And at the end of the stream, I'll send this to the military police.
Oh no.
I thought it will serve us as a really interesting statistics and will be productive and it will be great, but well, I didn't expect this outcome.
Wait, and what about salty?
So my thing with pineapple pizza is it's a lot like trenches and bunkers. You know, you too much in it, you can ruin it. I don't mind a little bit of pineapple. Like there's the deluxe pizza that has a wide range of toppings on it, and the pineapple there is like just a little accent to it, which is nice. But the Hawaiian pizza, not a huge fan. I can stomach one piece of it, and then I'm done.
Finally, someone understands.
I mean, your name is Salty, so
Yes.
Seems obvious.
And do you want to share what your guys' favorite pizzas are?
I don't eat pizza.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a good thing. What do you eat then? No, what do you eat? What is your favorite food then? That's the question.
Oh gosh.
The souls of the innocent.
All right, why doesn't someone else take that question since I have to think about it for a moment?
Okay. So
for pizza,
why?
For pizza, I like the deluxe that I mentioned earlier and double pepperoni. And for food in general, I guess sushi.
My God, I love sushi as well. It's so good.
I've actually never come to the taste of sushi for some reason. It just it has its taste, yes, but it doesn't feel for me tasty, but it doesn't feel bad. So I mean it's just neutral. So if I will be hungry, then yes, I can eat it. But I didn't come to taste for it. Yeah.
France, it's not feel, it's taste.
Oh yeah.
How do you? What, do you touch your sushi?
Well, of course I am. Anyway, Popo.
So why do I like my most favorite pizza is the one with pineapple. I don't know why. I just like the taste. And with food in general, I basically eat almost everything. But for some reason, I don't like anything that comes out of the sea. I don't eat crabs, I don't eat squids, fish, anything like that. No. I don't
No.
know. I don't know why. It isn't the taste. It's something. It's hard to say.
Why is your food taste exactly opposite to mine? We're like yin and yang.
Yeah, I mean, if you do eat and you really like Hawaii and pizza with pineapple, then you automatically don't like stuff from a sea, and the opposite. Yeah.
It's an interesting correlation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Anyway, Sairai, what about your favorite
Yeah.
food?
So I have had time to think, and although I do like a lot of foods, if I had to pick, probably garlic bread.
Yeah, that's a good
Garlic.
choice, actually.
Yeah.
I do really like garlic bread.
Yeah, garlic bread is very amazing.
If you had an option to eat a lot of garlic bread, garlic bread, would you do it?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
If you had an option to only eat garlic bread, would you do it?
Heck no. Do you know how much protein is in garlic bread? It's just bread.
Yeah, more like sugar, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's technically a sugar.
If you did, then you become fat because garlic
Yeah.
bread makes you fat.
So definitely not, no.
Yeah, and
Also-
like what there you can always have like too much of a good thing. So if you had to eat only garlic bread, it would be cool for like the first hour and then you'd be sick of it. Which is very sad to like have such a great food ruined like that.
I've actually done that with cheeseburgers. I actually ordered 10 cheeseburgers and only managed to eat like 7 of them. And I said no more cheeseburgers for.
Yeah, like that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, actually, what do you think? What do you think about fast foods? Like, I mean, that makes burgers. What are your favorite fast foods that makes burgers actually?
I hate burgers.
You don't eat the burgers.
I also hate
No.
burgers, honestly. Full disclosure, I also hate burgers.
You guys probably don't have this, but A&W, very good burgers for fast food.
Ooh. Well, yeah, we do not have these.
No.
But in some restaurants, when you order a burger where you wouldn't even like expect a restaurant to serve burgers, it is sometimes much better than in any fast food because it feels not natural. It is a burger as it should be. So with vegetables, with beef that is not washed in oil. So it feels natural. It feels good. It feels healthy. So I do like personally burgers, and I love burgers from K1. It's called a restaurant here in Czech Republic, and it's beautiful. It's tasty, and I love that. It's even healthy.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
Well, that's the same thing with the pineapple on pizza. Yeah, it's just tasty. But anyway, Popo, what do you think about burgers?
I don't really like burgers. I have not eaten, really good ones, only those classical ones from the classical fast foods like McDonald's. What I do really like, which can be, I think, considered a fast food, which France should be really, which France should know is fried cheese. I absolutely love fried cheese. It's like a national food in Czech Republic and Slovakia, the second one probably. And I can eat like 3 bricks of it, having 6,000 calories just for the lunch. I'm a fucking pig, but what can you do?
Rosiake Hermelin.
Um,
I love Hermelin.
Yeah, that's
damn
a,
it. You really surprised me with that one. I don't know how to say it in English, honestly. It's
okay,
like
guys, do you know that kind of cheese that
camembert. That's how it's in English.
Camembert,
Yeah.
that's the special French one, but it
Yeah,
I
but
think
in English
it's
they
like
call all those like round cheeses with mold on the top camembert.
yeah. So I love fried camembert. I love it more than just default casual fried cheese
The
because
vanilla one.
yeah, because the cheese when you fry it, the cheese is much more. It's not that. It's
Liquid,
more
right?
like liquid than like. Yeah, you know what I mean, basically. And
Grilled
it,
Canon burgers.
yeah,
Too.
also tasty. Where we actually had today, but not fried one, but we had it.
I had
Anyway,
grilled one today.
oh yeah, grilled ones are really good.
Yeah.
We are serving those in a restaurant I am partly working in.
Oh.
Not now because it's closed, but
Yeah.
Multitasking.
Honestly, like when I was younger, I used to go to KFC a bunch. I remember really liking KFC, like the chicken and the wraps especially. But lately, I've been really trying to avoid fried foods, and that also unfortunately includes fried cheese, which is very sad. But I've basically completely cut fast food out of my diet, with pretty much one exception, which is Subway. I really enjoy like the sandwiches with just like the chicken breast, if anyone ever had that. And I just take it with vegetables and no sauce. I don't really like the sauce, and I love those sandwiches. Those are very good.
Yeah, you and me are very similar. Oh, sorry about that.
I think it's a waste to get to Subway. Make your own sandwich at home.
It's not the same. And
Yeah,
also
he's right.
like it's not like I go out of my way to get Subway for lunch, but it's like my first choice when I'm somewhere where I want to buy fast food, you know? Like Subway is the only fast food that I buy.
Yeah, I'm similar in that aspect. I've completely cut fast foods out of my diet. Subway I like, but I also can't have it, so I instead usually go for Jimmy John's instead.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's basically Subway, but a more natural variety.
Oh, that sounds nice actually. I wish Subway, like the only thing I don't really like about Subway is their choice of bread. It's kind of like weirdly sweet, I would say. I always try
They
to
put a
get
lot of sugar.
yeah, I always try to get like the dark bread, like because it tastes the least sweet. But I've noticed that they recently stopped serving like the all dark bread where I am, and they only have like some oregano bread or whatever. So I usually get that, but that's very sad that they make such sweet bread. I wish it wasn't like that.
well, I personally have never been and have never ordered a food in Subway. I will certainly after after the situation will be better. But what I do like about Subway are the waitresses usually because they are quite cute and in our hometown it's really
What
really
kind of subways do you go to that like subways don't usually have waitresses? You
weird
you just
No, I
say what
don't.
kind
Yeah,
of
I didn't mean waitresses exactly like waitresses, but
Oh, you mean
cashiers.
the cashiers, the servers.
I
Oh,
believe
yeah,
their
okay
title is sandwich artist, actually.
then. Are you serious?
I think that's what they call them here.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with you guys over there, but I don't think like the corporate culture is advanced enough over here for us to do that, you know.
Well, the ones that I've met have also been really nice in subways, so who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, is there anything else you would like to discuss or talk about, guys?
Or ask us something about.
Well, Salty and Popo, do you want to talk about the base?
What do you mean the base? You mean the bunker base?
Yes, the bunker base this war. Or the previous wars.
No, really, I wasn't an architect of any of them.
I could talk a little bit on that.
Alright, so, well, sorry, Salty, but I'd like to give a little bit of a context to this before we talk in length about our base. So we're not going to say where it is, so just so everyone's aware, don't say where it is. So we've been trying to build a storm cannon bunker base since war, I don't know, 69?
It's the funny number, guys. This is where you laugh.
We've been yeah, we've been trying and we have not succeeded once. Like, we've lost the base or the war has been won before we get it up for ever since then, and it's been really frustrating on our end. So then, Salty, if you want to take over.
Yeah, so there've been 3 or 4 attempts, I think, at storm cannons within SSE. First one, I believe that was in Farnack, and
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was before a lot of the new members even joined.
I think that was when 11 ERC went Collie and did the massive storm cannon barrage in Farnack Coast.
Was it?
I don't know. I think so, though.
Anyway, that bunker was headed by me and Sarai, and we like snaked it through the town too much and had stretched our defenses really thin. It ended up getting PV'd. Our later attempts were since Bill Cosby joined the clan, and he's been heading most of the bunkers.
Oh
with
no!
me.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Not the real Bill Cosby.
How do you know it's not the real Bill Cosby? How can you be sure? You don't know who people are on the internet.
Well, he does have looks like a personal photo for his avatar.
Yeah, I'll contact them immediately. I'll tell them we found Bill Cosby.
Hidden among the
last bunker, last storm cannon bunker, or the last 2 of them, also got pretty much night capped. But this one is still standing at this point, and it's largely thanks to our friends at 11 ERC and all of the veterans who pop in to defend it when it gets attacked.
So far, I was attacked 3 times, and each time we've had to rebuild a significant portion of the defenses, up to concrete as well, because they were at concrete, and we've lost significant portions of concrete to it.
They keep getting down to like the last line of defense before we beat them back. So we're just making it through by the skin of our teeth.
But it's also been a real issue on our logistics to try to, and our team too, to try to constantly rebuild up to concrete again.
Yeah, I think there's like 6 of us who are like dedicated to the logi and the building. And then smaller contributions from many others.
Yeah, if I could give a pro tip to anyone, don't create a storm cannon bunker base with only 6 people.
Hard.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've done it on my own as well, with just 2 people.
You are not supposed to do that, Eddie.
I did anyways, when I wasn't in this clan. And it was fucking mad. It took me 5 days to finish on my own. I just got, 2 other guys were just supply guys who were coming in every now and then, bringing supplies.
Yeah, moving concrete, that's probably the one thing I hate the most.
Yeah, I can imagine. Concrete is usually pretty heavy. Anyway, maybe you could use some medical support in the base. You know?
We could, yeah. The next time we get attacked, we could give you a heads up, but it's usually very short notice.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and most of us are usually asleep when it gets attacked, so I don't know about other people, but I constantly have anxiety trying to go to bed at night, wondering if the base will be attacked or not, and how much damage it'll do, or whether we'll have a base in the morning.
This is next level Foxhole playing right here, guys. Okay?
Pro player.
like not being able to sleep because you're worried about what happens to your precious bunker base.
Hey, I've heard that Bill Cosby even stayed up for 48 hours trying to keep the base alive.
Jesus
did.
Christ.
Yeah.
Props to that guy.
Yeah, he's very he helped build it and he's very much into it. But yeah.
Seems like a real Cosby.
Yeah, well, so maybe like it sounds like an interesting place to visit for sure. Maybe like if you do give us a ping, then maybe some people will be able to arrive even on short notice.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, if it will be in the daytime, then I certainly will.
Yeah.
Since I'm interested in the fortifications.
Yeah, in the daytime in the European time zone.
Yeah, in the European time. That's
Yeah, yeah. And we also would like to thank everyone who has previously come to our base to try to defend it during attacks when we were not very active. It's been very helpful, and the only reason that base is standing is because of them, because of 11 ERC and many other clans who come to assist.
And veterans.
Yes,
And
and
randoms.
veterans and randoms.
Let's drop a flower on their graves.
It just occurred to me, we didn't talk about the roleplay.
Oh, that's true. Do you have any special opinions about roleplay?
So yeah, we're obviously Warden loyalist clan. I believe that's been mentioned. I'm very into the whole the Warden and the faction antagonism roleplay aspect. I don't roleplay so much like in game as like an officer or what have you.
Oh, so then what's your opinion on a neutral organization like us who tries to help both sides?
I love neutrals personally. I will sometimes in the world chat in game give a little shit to neutral clans, but it's usually the ones who are like fighting front lines. When they switch sides, I'll call them traitor clan or something for a while. Give them a little bit of a hard time, but it's lighthearted. I don't really hate you guys.
Yeah, I mean it's there is a difference, or there should be a difference between neutral clans, as we are, because we are both wardens and colonials, and neutral clans, as you mentioned, these that switch sides, some wars, you know. So yeah. I mean,
because we don't switch sides. We are always neutral.
We constantly have wardens and colonials. So. But it is interesting that in real life, like in the World War II and World War I, I hated Switzerland, but I actually established a neutral organization, so that's quite interesting in that. All right. Anyway, is there anything else from you?
I don't think I have anything. Do you have anything, Popo or Salty?
Not really.
I think we're good.
Okay. Then it's good to wrap up then.
Yeah, thank you so much for visiting and being here and talking to us. It was very enjoyable.
It's our honor to be here.
Exactly.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
See you on the battlefield.
Yeah, see you.
Nice evening, lads.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye. All right. So the next and last guests are RG and Papa Trotsky from the 13th clan. I actually want to make a note that wait, I expected that this, since we do have a lot less guests, I expected this broadcast to last at least 30 minutes less than the previous one, but seems like it will be the same anyway. Okay, hello RG, hello Peppa Trotsky.
Hello. Good day, friends.
Hello.
How are you today?
It's exam week, month, so
Both
crunch,
of us.
but otherwise good, yeah.
Been
managed,
exam week twice now.
managed to pry Papa out of his homework and bring him here, so I would have some more character to me and not just be bland leader person. But
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so why don't you start by quickly introducing yourself and your clan for our listeners?
Hi, I'm RG and I have the 13th clan, and yeah, I've been doing that for 3 years now, and I don't know what to say about me. I make irrational decisions, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're terrible, and when they're terrible, Papa has to clean up after it.
Whenever I clean up, I inevitably also fuck up, which is also fun. So yeah, that's pretty much our entire dynamic.
Yep.
We've summed ourselves up too quickly. We've got nothing to say. We should end it all here.
Sounds like a real power couple, to be honest.
I'm the substitute. I'm the stand-in ever since Rhaegar left.
Oh, that's not true.
I'm the ugly stepfather. The foster kids don't like me.
Okay, let's not get too deep into any personal issues over here. Like, you can sort that out later. The Red
Need
Cross
to get couples counseling.
The Red Cross does provide psychological counseling. So
yeah. Might have to book one of those.
You can contact me privately later about that. But for now, I think we should discuss our topics for the day, and we can.
Actually,
Yes.
Since we talked about the command structure a bit, then I will expand that. So tell us about the command structure in the 13th Lucky Army.
It has a nice flowchart of who decides what, but usually no one cares, and it's always ask Archie what the fuck's going on.
This is inevitably.
There is supposed to be a structure. It's actually pretty well structured, but the system is we have the enlisted, where we have like 5 tiers, and one of them is literally just existing, so it's pretty easy to be a private. Then it's mostly skill based and a tiny bit of leadership at the top, like squad based leadership. After that, we have pretty much 3 tiers of like your officer rank, but they're also specialized, so you could be a combat officer without doing any kind of logistics and any kind of diplomacy and stuff like that. But you could also be a logistics officer and not care the least bit about actual combat. So like that, it's split up in 5 branches with 3 steps on each, and that's the last step. You become a top brass, which is the 2nd tier, and then at the top it's the clan leadership, which is me and my right and left hand, and currently I have neither. But that is the base structure.
Well, to be honest, this is very touching for me, because you guys are all having a great couples, a leader and his right hand, and I am still standing alone.
No. Let's get this clear for a second. I'm not the right hand. I'm also not the left hand. I'm the right foot. The disabled right foot, the one that's missing 3 toes.
My right hand did go on. Well, he did retire because unfortunately work got in the way and he had to go to school and stuff. So currently,
he's being too successful.
Yeah, he's being too successful, so we had to let go of him. We are very happy that he gets the opportunity, of course, but it also, there's a lot of people who missed him.
So everybody here who's listening, if you are too successful, just don't even try to go to the 13th Lucky Army.
Please, don't. Please. We can't stand the loss. We need incompetent people like me who'll stay around.
But yeah, I mean, for a long time we had a lot of problems with not having enough officers and having to ask enlisted people who are not necessarily interested in leading and being an officer to be stand-in, like substitute officers or squad leaders and stuff like that. But recently we have gotten a solid group of lieutenants that I want to give a massive shout out to. They're doing
They're doing
fucking great.
Awesome guys, really.
Yeah, it's if anyone cares, if you see Tomax, Kisu, and Shinku, just tell them that I'm proud of them because they're doing fucking great, and it feels great to not go into an operation and look and be like, yeah, I'm the only officer here. I'm, you know,
Yeah.
that for the past like the 3 years I've had the clan, it's pretty much just been me and sometimes one of the other officers, you know. So it's nice to have more structure.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I mean, like being fair to ourselves, we've been improving a lot over the past 6 months, 7 months. Especially Rega started it all off. He's
Yeah, and getting a
right
lot of
hand man
members helps.
who was too successful, and we've been doing a lot more people have been joining and staying because we've been stepping up the organization, and we've been getting regular operations in, sort of keeping the engagement so people don't get bored and leave because one officer can't do all the work. And you know, it's been great, everyone in the clan, in the group, who've stuck around, because we've got a good solid player base now. And rather than just sort of stagnating and no one joining, we're actually getting more and more people with every op. So what we would have considered a large op maybe a few months ago, we've actually got a pretty regular amount of people coming.
Yeah, now a small op is 10 people, which is terrifying, because when I started, a large op was 5 people. So
I mean, it's chaos if the organizational structure collapses for even 5 minutes, because then you've got people who are on the other side of a fucking region. But otherwise, it's great.
And how often does the organizational structure collapse?
It really depends on. I mean, it also depends what officers are there. There's obviously officers who are better because they've done this longer. Like if I'm on the field, it's often not as chaotic because I have a lot of experience, not just in Foxhole, but also I've been a long-time scout where we do kind of the same thing. At least in Denmark, it's very much like structured like the military, but we do retarded things instead. So learn a lot from that, especially in regards to leadership and so on. But if we have a fresh lieutenant or stuff like that, it often devolves into I don't care what you're doing as long as it's progressive. And it also comes down to, is it a weekday op where it's literally just we take some tanks and go to place A then B, or is it a large, huge, multiple day planned op for a naval landing in X region to wipe out the entire colonial force? Then it's usually a lot more structured. There's a lot of operations where I've made dossiers and giving every individual off, like pulled the officers aside and made sure everyone's read it, everyone's know what's going on, and they know the exact plan for their group, what to do, and it's been planned. Like when they get the plan, they know what to do for the next, not just 30 minutes or until they hit the beach. They might know exactly what to do for the next 2 hours or until the achievement, like we've achieved what the plan says, which helps a lot because there's a lot less questions. Like pretty much the only reason leadership collapses is because the leader gets too many questions.
I mean, the thing at the end of the day is what we are struggling with is training. In that the leader needs to be able, whoever's doing the op, whatever's going on, the people in charge need to be able to trust the people who are doing the lower level organization, the sections, the squads, or 5 people or more. They need to know what they're doing, and it's our job to teach them what they're doing. If you don't have officers who can organize, say, a pre-op logi, well, the op's doomed from the start, because then you've got an extra hour of time during the op when it's actually started where you're doing the logistics, and that's just difficult, to be honest. It's something that can easily be avoided, and it's something we are starting to properly, regularly avoid because we've learned how to do these things now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, actually, it was interesting the last time we were operating with you. It was interesting to experience. There was 1 week, one Saturday, that we were on operation with Blue Rose, and they tried to land on the same spot as you tried to land the next week, and it unfortunately didn't succeeded. And the next week we basically grouped up with you, and we didn't expect to actually come to the same place in the Farneck coast. and do the same thing. But yeah, it succeeded, and I must say that when RG is on, it is always a good thing, because you always know who to ask a question, and even though sometimes there are a lot of questions, as you said, it is for me as a squad leader, let's say, not that important. But I still have one source that I know that I can rely on, and that there is some central leadership in there on the operation.
Well, flatter me, paint me flattered, or whatever. Yeah. Thank you.
Color me
yeah.
impressed, I guess. I don't
Color
know.
me impressed. Yeah.
What
Color
would
me
be the
impressed.
correct thing to say there?
I don't know. I just
Wait,
do.
what? I tried to seduce you. Oh my.
I know. I am afraid you rolled a nat 1, as I am currently taken.
Jesus
Good try,
Christ,
though.
you didn't even manage to get a Danish person horny.
Hey, keep that in the clan, Papa.
Sorry, mate.
No problem.
Yeah, so speaking of this stuff, let's change the subject and talk instead about new mechanics that you would like to see added into the game, or any particular bugs or issues that you would like to see fixed, except for trains, because everyone wants trains.
Yes, of course we're not going to talk about trains because it's been spoken of to death.
Yeah.
Instead, we're going to talk about construction because...
Are we?
Yeah, I want a better way
We'll see
to
where
move
this
concrete.
discussion goes.
Please give me a better way to move concrete. There is so many other issues with construction, and there are also problems like deconstructing and husks being a nightmare, and you get weapon restricted from destroying your own buildings. Sorry, what the fuck? I placed it wrong. Please let me remove it. Without, but all of that, I can live with that. Just, it feels like a pain to move concrete. Absolute fucking pain.
That is.
I can't take them anymore. We stopped doing storm cannons and big bunker bases because it ended up just being the same 3 people concreting everything. I spent a whole weekend, War 69. We had the storm cannon with Warden Vanguard down in Stray that secured the whole of the southern front, right? I spent my whole weekend with the Tomax just concreting that shit.
I remember spending that entire night just digging trenches. It was horrendous.
It's absolutely terrible. And it could just be fixed by putting in some kind of mass transit of concrete.
I
Or
think
letting
really-
us pick up, like, the problem is, you put down the concrete mixer, you build what's in the area, but then you have to move it, but you can't move it when it's full. Just let us move it while there's concrete in it. Please. That's the only thing I want changed about the game currently. Once that's changed, I can start moaning about other stuff.
And aren't you worried that making transporting and moving concrete easier would unbalance the game? Because it would, like, concrete bunkers would be built too quickly or something like that?
If you want your concrete base built, you can have it built in 5 hours if you just force enough clan members to claw their eyes out. It's not a question. It's not a question of how fast, like, it will not go faster. It will just be less painful. I don't think, like, everyone always talks about the grind of this game, like, you know, driving back and forth, scavenging and craps on. I think that is bearable because you feel like you're actually working. Walking back and forth with concrete is annoying on a
Agony.
different... it's annoying in a different way because you feel like you're actively contributing 0.
I mean, I think a massive part of it is, sure, you might be worried about how much time it takes to put up a concrete bunker base. So why not just increase the amount of time it takes to refine the materials you need? And I mean, sure, that might not be a great solution because then you just have people log on, log off, but that solves the problem. There's easier ways to do it than actively
we're
making
already
the player
being
base
delayed
feel pain.
twice. It's like, Why?
I mean, the same sort of thing can be said. You know, we've got the refinement ratios now, 1:20, or 20:1 even. That works fine, I guess. I've sort of lived with it, and I don't have any problems with it because it keeps the number of tanks on the front line sort of lower. It is actually a balancing solution, I guess. But now we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Just movable concrete mixers.
Something that helps us concrete.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah, unfortunately, I
interesting.
cannot join this discussion since I have never ever built anything with a concrete. And yes, of course I encountered many people building stuff from concrete, but I have never did it myself, and I don't quite know how it functions. And I hope, since I hear how much pain it is, I hope I will never experience that. Work with concrete, yeah.
Honestly, I've helped on concrete constructions a few times, but I've never like dedicated myself to a big like build. So I understand that it must be a very difficult and sometimes frustrating process.
Yeah,
it's just all the terrain shit, and you're already fed up with issues with building, and you finally have the perfect structure, and then you're just met with more issues.
Kind
Yeah,
of
it
like
seems like
real life, isn't it?
Yeah.
True.
It basically
Absolutely.
seems like No, go on, RG.
Oh no, just please, Franz. I am speaking way too much anyway.
No, that's fine.
Just you already have all the problems that is associated with building, and most people already know them. Because if you've ever tried to make a bunker base, you know the endless cycle of placing a blueprint, placing another, realizing they're absolutely buggered, and ruining all the work you've done to redesign the piece, and doing that 4, 5, 6 times. And once you're actually done with that, and it looks horrendous because the terrain is absolutely horrible, you then have to concrete it at some point, and you know that it's going to be terrible because now you've ruined the place you could put the concrete mixer, and you're going to have to do it alone, and unfortunately that's just reality.
Oh well, if the devs want us to suffer, so we will.
Yeah, do you think like I don't know, some kind of terraforming might be a thing in Foxhole somewhen? I mean, it will get really complex and maybe too complex and too you know what I mean.
There's so many things this game that would go so well in this game, like the terraforming you mentioned and all of this stuff. But the fact is, when you think of solutions or thoughts or whatever you want to call them, ideas like this, you really do need to think, well, how much time would it take the dev team?
And can the engine handle it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're running, it's Unreal Engine 4, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I mean, it's a miracle that they have managed to get the server capacity this high. I mean, the devs have been fantastic with pushing this engine to its limit. They said building was impossible. I mean, they made a modular vehicle system. All of this stuff is genuinely, in my opinion, just incredible. What they managed to achieve as an independent dev team. Yeah, I mean, you've got before 1.0, you've got to ask the question: should they be focusing on adding in a ton of new features, or should they be focusing on solving the bugs and solving the gameplay issues, which are currently sort of inherent, like the grind?
Yeah, that's a great point. I've heard like the discussion about terraforming and making holes and like changing the terrain being thrown around, but that seems like not only like a crazy thing to code, but also a huge load on the engine that is already like somewhat struggling, as you said, and also on the servers, which like already have a limited capacity right now. We see the issues with like how many players can be there at one time. So of course it sounds great, but the main point is obviously what is possible in the game.
Yeah, they've already dismissed light sources for nighttime battles because spamming too many of them would overload the servers and the engine, and they've dismissed a lot of things like I think the bonfire, they almost like they had a talk about how difficult it was to get that in a way where it wouldn't be spammed so much that everything would crash. And I don't see how they would. There's a lot of things that when you have the knowledge of, okay, so the servers are constantly about to die, it's a lot of things that you realize might not be possible, and maybe we should just be happy that it's actually still running.
Yeah, now that you mention it, if usable light sources would kill the servers, then as we had in the earlier discussion, flamethrowers would be like insane. Like from the technical, particles and stuff. I can't imagine how that would work like from a graphical standpoint. Now that you mention it,
Cannot understand why so many people are so obsessed with the idea of planes in the game. Like, does anyone here like that idea?
No.
Yes, I do love that idea. Having a planes in the game, it will feel far more realistic, complex, but I don't want it actually in Foxhole because it will not be you will not be able to realize that, since firstly there's the perspective from above, yeah, and secondly it will be really hard to even make, and it will be like a second, even like a half game, half other game. I just don't know. I don't think it belongs to Foxhole, even though it will match it pretty well.
yeah, I also think that like the concept is cool, obviously, but with how much work it would require and like how much stuff it would add, it feels like it could easily be like like its own separate game, you know, just a plain game.
I've given it a bit of thought over the time. Like, I think the only way there is a couple inherent issues with it. We don't get planes for the same reason we don't have submergible vehicles, because it adds a third dimension to the game, and it's very much a 2D game, which you don't realize before you start analyzing tank combat, because tank combat is purely 2D. But like, if we ever get planes, it would straight up just be used for excessive partisaning, and I think the only way it would ever be implementable would be basically just an RNG machine where the faction that puts the most amount of BMATs into it wins, which doesn't feel like plane combat at all. So yeah,
I mean,
at least give us a pretty model plane. That would be nice.
the naval stuff as it is, I think it's impressive what they've got going there, and that they've got anything. I think it could definitely do with a lot of work. I think battleships would be impossible. Submarines would be incredibly difficult. But there's just what really amazes me is just how much the community likes the idea. Like, would they actually like it in
nerds who get boners from battleships?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like when you get excited about an idea, you don't really think about the technical aspects of it, right?
That's true. But on the naval aspect, I saw an awesome post on Reddit. It's very old. I think it's about half-year old, but a guy who had sat down and had a really brilliant idea on naval stuff. And his idea was basically to have scrap nodes, kind of scrap nodes, like in the water, and a specialized ship for getting them, to give naval a reason to not just be, coastal attack ships. And in like addition to this scrapping ship, he would also have like coastal defense ships, which would literally just be a smaller ship with like a 12.7 machine gun on the front, and that was about it. And have like more like combat vessels. We don't have naval to naval combat ships currently. Like you could argue the gunboat, but
That's where
the
you're wrong, my friend.
the 14.5 on the gunboat is more for self-defense than actual combat. I mean, our best naval vehicle right now for naval combat is a barge.
Look, I'm sorry. The barge is nothing in comparison to the colonial.
the
the colonial APC with 5 LMGs in the back, or alternatively their heavy machine gun APC, or quite simply the legendary 5 guys in a motorboat with pistols. I was watching one of Shiv's, I think it was Shiv's videos. The 2 guys in motorboats go up to a gunboat, just start shooting at it with pistols, and they kill the bloody thing.
Yeah, that's where I see the issues with naval combat. Please give us ships that can have a naval, battle. I've run naval landings where they have devolved into naval combat, where we literally used transport ships like iron ships as shields for barges, so the barges could kill the enemy ships. What kind of combat is that? That is not realistic in any. It's like.
Well, it's not even that it's not realistic, because that doesn't matter. It's a game. It's more. It's not fun.
You just feel ridiculous sitting there and being like, yeah, okay, we're gonna take our 5 tanks that we stowed in this massive ship and just do nothing because we don't have a defense vehicle.
I think that it's amazing that despite like all these difficulties and naval combat being non-existent, you still figured out a way around it, like to do something fun on the sea anyway. And the strategy that you just mentioned kind of reminded me of like the strategy in the Middle Ages that peasants used to do, where they stacked carriages next to each other and turned them over and used those as cover. That sounds kind of like that.
Yeah, the
like carriage
classic,
walls,
Yeah, classic cowboy movie where the hero has to defend the vehicle, the village.
Save himself by hiding
town.
behind a wagon or something.
Yeah, and they just make wagon barricades.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And that reminds me of like a desperate time defenses. We had one in I think it was Yuxta a while back, where we just ended up putting vehicles in front of, like, between us and the enemy and spamming barbed wire. It was basically improvised barricades. It was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would just want to say, what really impresses me is the ability of the community who cares so much about this game to come up with these ideas to solve the actual problems. And while the devs there's a good chance the devs look at them for a single second and think, well, that wouldn't work at all. It's just, it really does show how much people care about the game and how great the community is that they'd either try and help or just fix it on their own, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Foxhole without its community.
Absolutely not.
I mean, even though all the people who are like, the devs never listen and shit, I mean, have you ever tried DMing a dev and just genuinely asking nicely? Like, I DM'd KFZ and was like, hey, this thing, I'm confused. Would you please explain? And I just got it was a bit delayed because he obviously has work to do, but he just gave me a nice answer back and I said, thank you, have a good day. And that was it. And I've also asked some of the devs for some of the update art, the amazing update art, because it's not out there in a way where you can get access to it, and it's not copyrighted by fucking Pinterest, because That's how the blog works, unfortunately. First of all, that made sure they changed it, so now everyone can go get the awesome. I gotta say, it's brilliant as desktop backgrounds, guys. Go get it. It's perfect. The resolution is awesome. You can go get it on the blog. But like,
What if we
just
change the
DMing, I
subject?
just got the fucking message back like, yeah, here's all the update art, and I also have some of the old update art that you can get as well. I was just like, this is way more than I asked for. I am very happy. This is perfect. This is brilliant.
I asked. Sorry, you talk.
No, go ahead, Papa.
I asked a question openly on the subreddit. I didn't really expect an answer. It was about the heavy tank destroyer that we're getting this update, and it was just about some useless design sort of thing. This thing that probably you wouldn't even notice if you spent an hour staring at the thing, which I did, and. The next day, I got a reply back from Julian, who went through exactly what his thought process was. And you know, that was just... people who say the devs don't listen,
sometimes
they're kind of full
they
of
don't
shit.
have all the time.
Yeah, they don't have all the time in the world, but they go the extra distance for the community. And it's really,
as long as you just don't curse at them and call them fucking pigs and stuff like that. Like, who wants that? Like, all the hate on KFC, I never understood. I mean, I have read why, and I understand why, but I could also understand, like, if you write to KFC in a way where you're pissed at him and it shows that you're pissed. Of course he's not going to answer you, but honestly, I've only had good experiences with KFC asking nicely, being not an asshole, and that usually works with people.
Don't expect respect if you don't give respect in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and in the end of the day, they are just humans, and
exactly.
We do mistakes, and even though you are a developer, and for some you are an authority as well, people expect you to behave. Then maybe you just don't have your day, and when some, I don't want to say jerk, but when some person just is pissed and he wrote you a not quite nice letter, then you will just don't respond to that because you have already pretty bad and miserable days. So it is understandable to be angry about some acts of deaths, but a person needs to consider what they are doing for us. They are basically giving up their own time and life for the community because it really does matter for them. And I think that everybody who hates them needs to consider this thing, because after you really realize that, you cannot hate them anymore. It's basically how it is.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you ever feel any kind of anger towards the devs, just remember, at least they're not EA.
Yeah, that's true.
At least there aren't microtransactions. Things could be so much worse.
Oh my god.
I'm really interested to see how the Falchion changes, the mass production tank changes. They put in like 2 updates ago, or like minor updates, whatever you want to call them. How they're going to sort of work. Are they actually going to fix the problem? Is there a problem in the first place? Actually, I personally think so, but that's even that's up to date debate apparently.
Yeah, and whenever I like see something that gets me kind of angry, even though that doesn't happen often, I always just remember that I couldn't code a goddamn calculator, let alone a freaking Foxhole. Okay, that's crazy. That's insane. Yeah, so I think we're pretty much on agreement on this here.
Look, in general, thank you devs. Thank you so much for creating this fantastic game. Now give me a universal carrier. Give me a universal carrier, or I'm going to find Mark and I am going to kill him.
Okay. Sounds like you appreciate them.
Yeah. So moving on.
I think there should be one last ultimate question.
Yes, the last question of the evening.
Yes, the time has come, and you, RG and Papa, you will be exempt from the ultimate test in this whole universe.
Oh dear.
What do you think about a pineapple on pizza?
You go first, Papa.
I think I'm gonna be crucified for this. But anyone who likes pineapple on pizza is a degenerate and they should be lashed to a cross. Preferably then burnt alive. Covered in
Guess who's getting demoted?
Aerosine 50, jet fuel or something, I don't know. Burn them. Kill them all. Oh god, my eugenicist side is coming out.
Papa, let's hope that Mark or anybody from the devs they doesn't like pineapple pizza. Let's hope, because after the kind words you said and now, well, that's a plot twist, to be honest.
Look, I'm just saying, if Mark... No, actually, this is a good question. If Mark doesn't implement the universal carrier within the next 6 months, and he also likes pineapple pizza, does that mean he's double dead? Or does it sort of balance out and he's still alive?
I'm not even going to start theorizing on that, but I'm just going to say I don't mind pineapple on pizza.
Well, I know what sort of a coup d'etat I'm going to stage
I
now.
would never order a pineapple pizza. But if you're at a social gathering where it's like, dinner is paid for and it's that typical like, oh yeah, we're just gonna buy some pizzas for everyone and we're just gonna, take whatever we want. Every single time, I'm just saying, every single time, pineapple pizza is being bought. Every single time, it's the last pizza to being taken. And if I don't mind pineapple, like I don't enjoy it. It tastes fine. I would never buy it purposefully, but if there's 2-3 pineapple pizzas left, and you don't mind, you have a heck of a lot of extra pizza. I'm just saying.
This is fair. Also, it isn't a big deal to remove the pineapple from a pizza.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
it's just
said.
Pineapple.
That's what
it's
I
just,
said.
It's just ham pizza with pineapple.
At that point, though, you might as well just buy a pineapple yourself. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't have pineapple on pizza.
Hey, Papa, do you think pineapple pizza is the reason for the decline of Western civilization?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
We're getting into politics.
No. That was a joke. But what is your favorite pizza, though?
I like mushrooms on mine occasionally. I also like ham. Oh, still no, I'm the degenerate.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry. From my perspective, I'm the correct one, and everyone who disagrees with me is wrong.
Hey, mushrooms on pizza are pretty good, just saying.
I am sure they're just not for me.
This man is a centrist.
I like salad pizza or a crap ton of meat and egg. I like egg on my pizza.
Egg pizza.
Yeah, listen, I don't know why, but it's actually pretty good. It sounds incredibly weird, but bacon, egg, breakfast sausages, and kebab, and I'm happy.
Well, when my parents actually made me a homemade pizza, where they literally did this or put the ingredients you just said, the bacon, the eggs, it was too it wasn't that good with the egg. I just don't really like that.
Yeah, the eggs have to be fully cooked. Like if there's any part of the egg that's not fully cooked, it ruins it.
Are you just going to crack open a bloody egg over the pizza? Open up the takeaway box. Dear, get the box of dozen eggs. I'm going to crack them all open at the same time.
No, you don't overdo the eggs, goddammit.
Salmonella. Salmonella. You are going to get salmonella.
No, because you're cooking it. I don't.
You still run a risk. No excuses. No excuses. It's your fault if you get salmonella and you die.
where I'm from, the chance of getting salmonella poisoning from any kind of poultry is 0.02%. It's practically eradicated here. And in addition to that, it gets cooked. I don't know if I told you, but it gets cooked in an oven.
Yeah, so you
You're
dump.
just
I'll
too
believe
afraid.
it when I
You're
see
too
it.
afraid to accept the truth.
You
And the
dump.
It's a
truth is
conspiracy. No, I'm
that
sorry. It's a
egg-
conspiracy. It is a conspiracy. It is a conspiracy between the pineapple on pizza people and the egg on pizza people. They own the world banks.
Oh my God.
Now we're getting into
That quote
politics.
is going to come back and haunt me. I'm going to try and find employment in 10 years, and they're going to pull up this quote.
Oh God. We're all screwed.
Yeah, this devolved,
Yep.
quickly.
Ah, heck.
Yeah.
It's a chill night. It's a chill stream. It's good.
Yeah, of course.
You know what, I know the Red Cross are really not supposed to do combat. What are your guys' thoughts on a Warden LMG? Like, what do people actually think about that? Does anyone have opinions?
Excuse me, you're gonna have to elaborate on that. What did you say,
Okay,
Warden
so-
LMG?
Yeah. So the
The ones that
Colonials
infantry
have...
support gun.
Oh.
Not like a 30 mil, but like.
7.92.
Yeah, and an infantry support machine gun, basically.
It's something that can... Yeah, it's just a lighter version.
Yeah,
because
you'll have to
the
forgive
Colonials
me for
have-
not being very familiar with weapons for
No.
obvious reasons.
That's very fair.
Same here.
I don't think there's any sun god present, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just the Colonials have had the LMG. How many wars
Appreciate
now?
the storm rifle. Okay,
Yeah, no,
go
the
home.
storm rifle is great. I love it, but it's shit at suppression. There's no two ways about it. I mean, it's a jack of all trades sort of thing. It doesn't really do any role very well. I watched a video earlier, and the person was firing point blank with a storm rifle, like literally 5 meters, and he was missing every single shot.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Just.
Yeah, let's stop here because no one has any idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, this is
not a
way too
fertile
fundamental.
ground for talking about weapons and.
This is really the Red Cross. We probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, weapons aren't really a topic here, you know.
Yes, they are.
We
but
should probably get back to pizza.
They are, but from the other side, you know.
Yeah, weapons are actually a topic, but only if you will bring us a request to ban them. But
Only if they're
I
only a
suggest
topic
we-
if they're pointed at your face.
Yeah,
I see.
basically.
Well,
Which
basically,
happens
I think,
often.
yeah, I think this is pretty much it, and well, how unexpected it took even longer than the last stream. So
We've been live for 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 15 seconds.
how amazing or boring.
Outstanding.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I really enjoy you guys, and I like that you were the last ones because you know, we had a time.
Yeah, you're always the chill guys, you know.
Not saying that the previous
So
one
much for trying to be professional.
Chill, chill me threatening genocide. People who like a certain type of pizza.
Okay. No.
Oh
No.
God, hope this isn't a TOS violation.
Yeah, actually, we probably should have been thinking about that.
Guys, just listen. Let me share my wisdom with you.
Okay.
It is far easier to get forgiveness than permission. Okay? Just
Oh my God. Okay.
Not
This is
with
a-
Twitch.
This could be called thought crime because, I mean, this is really God damn it! I hope you
This is literally 1984.
literally. Well,
What's that, Twitch? You want only family-friendly content? I'm sorry, I'm being oppressed.
I mean, in 1984, the chance you got permission and chance you got forgiven were both
Equal.
zeros.
Yeah, they were equal.
Yeah. Maybe the permission was had a greater chance than forgiveness because
I would.
there was no forgiveness.
I think
Well,
there's.
look, in any case, thank you very
Yeah.
much for having me on the stream. I'm going to have to go now. But
Yeah.
it was wonderful.
It was great
I
having
don't
you.
actually want to kill any of the Clapfoot devs. I'd like to specify that now.
Yeah. Can
I hope
you also specify that you are not inciting genocide?
I'll have to bring that up with my lawyer. Thank you very much.
I can assure
Good
that
night.
Papa will be denied any attempted genocide. Don't worry.
Nice. Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. Take care of that art. You are a good leader.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bye,
don't
guys.
worry.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for
Twitch
coming,
overlord.
guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so
Of
much
course.
for having us.
Yep. Goodbye. Have a
Goodbye.
good night.
And that's
Alright.
a wrap.
That's it, boys.
Yes.
I actually anyone in
Eddie
the
just
chat-
woke up.
No, I've been here the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
And what
Um,
did you?
Only thing, chat, do you have any questions you want to ask us instead?
The last chance
Yeah.
tonight.
Last chance, I did say you had the time.
Yeah, while this is happening, I'd like to thank everyone who came out tonight to listen to us and watch this stream. It may not be as professional as some other streams, but I personally can say that I really enjoy it, both in the moderating aspect and the management aspect. And I think I learned a lot about how Twitch works and how broadcasting works. And I hope that in the future broadcasts I can only improve the quality and interactivity of these streams to make it more interesting for our listeners.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't get any requests of questions, so yeah, that's it, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
so thank you very much again for coming out tonight and listening to us.
And yeah, hopefully we'll meet up on the next live stream. That should take place approximately 1 or 2 months from today.
Yes. Okay, so thank you very much and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Night,
Good
everyone.
night.